Welcome, misfits, to this night's Skeptic Bible study. Moses, creepy crawlies, and the river of blood. In this episode, Moses and Aaron have a chat with Pharaoh. Then Yahweh comes down for a pep talk so that we can get into the real fun. Everyone having a horrible, horrible time as the plagues begin to rain down on Egypt. So come join us for another night of fun, Bible style. For the first half of our Skeptic Bible study, the hosts will read this week's chapters along with the annotations at the side. Don't mind if we take less than literal interpretations of characters' names. However, everything else on the page will be left as is, or was put together via committee. Either way, at the later half of the show, we will switch into our open mic format for anyone to speak their mind on what we just read. At that point, look for the link in chat to come join our Skeptic Bible study, or throughout the show, send me your questions, comments, or thoughts by tagging me at Amy Newman. After the podcast, if you're still looking for some memeing action, we'll be heading to our Discord for debates, discussion, or just some chilling. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that all button icon so you can get live reminders. And if you'd like to support the show, we offer some unique perks with the aim of creating more content at patreon.com/Amy Newman, including awesome Patreons like KO Champ and Oz from the Atheist Roundtable. Okay, with that, let's see what's on the menu. Before we begin, I'm going to start by going over the specific Bible we'll be reading, along with some helpful category marks. Categories, you say? Why, yes I do. You see, we're going to be reading from the Skeptic's Annotated Bible, an entire King James Bible lovingly fawned over by a skeptic who decided he would add his own notations. These are little flagpoles of sanity put in use to remind us that, hey, maybe slavery is evil, including categories like absurdity, injustice, and cruelty, but also a good amount of intolerance, contradictions, and conflicts with science or history. That doesn't mean it's not packed full of misogyny, false prophecy, and some questionable biblical family values. Now, we won't skip the good parts that the Bible has, only that these passages seem far fewer in number than any priest or pastor seems to suggest. So without further ado, won't you come join the Skeptic crew? Woo! How are you tonight, James? And have you ever had a deity harden your heart so that 10 plagues could befall your city?
No, I haven't. But then again, I've never been the Pharaoh, so kind of makes sense with that. But I just wanted to add there that you said before that nobody was having a good time with all these plagues. But, I beg to differ on that because I think Yahweh was having a pretty damn good time up in heaven watching all the shit hit the fan down here. So he was probably enjoying himself up there. Probably put some foreskins in the Holy Spirit microwave, got everything popped, got everything ready. So, yeah, he's going to be having himself a good time, but I don't think anybody else really will be having a good time. So we've got Moses here and his sidekick, Aaron Ra. And in the back studio, we might have access later to Pharaoh's baker from Genesis. So if anyone has any questions for Pharaoh's baker, we all know what happened to him. You could send that to Amy Newman for the poor baker. He's out of work. He's also out of life. But yeah,
Running on hard times happens to us all.
yeah. He made some allegations about the butler and Joseph in the prison, and maybe he really didn't steal the thing, and maybe the dream was all conjured. Maybe Joseph and the butler had a thing going on, and he got the short end of that stick. But yeah.
And okay, so on the last adventure of Skeptic Ball Z, Moses had been born. The OG Moses got put in a basket. This is the most I think we've come to the Hollywood story actually being very much like the Bible, and he gets, he escapes the slaughter of the firstborns and gets raised by the Egyptian pharaohs, and then a altercation happens, and he ends up running away because he ends up killing a man in the altercation.
The Egyptian man was attacking an Israelite, and he felt the need to kill that Egyptian man and bury his body in, of all places, the sand, and then run away to a goat breeder. To a goat breeder or some kind of breeder. Yeah.
It's the first time that, for me, that the Bible is actually getting into some gray territory. It's hard to tell if I agree with Moses, because on one hand, Moses was saving a person, but on the other hand, he killed a person. It's almost like an anti-villain, or not an anti-villain, anti-hero. I'll at least give him that in that one moment. So, but hey, normally the Bible is black and white. We could have taken Genesis out without a lot of wisdom. So,
you mean like normally Yahweh just comes in and just says, "I'm just going to kill everybody and whatever," and as opposed to picking, like with the flood and the Sodom.
And I'm not saying he should have killed him. So that's where the gray comes in. So okay, and with that being said, we are on the Book of Exodus, chapter 5. Moses and Aaron, I guess it's Aaron Ra, I think talk to Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, right?
I think we're on the third. Yeah, we don't know which one because Yahweh he gave lots of names, but he wanted to redact the names of the pharaohs
to protect them
for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he didn't want any one pharaoh getting the blame on all this, so he just made them anonymous. And all the dukes, we know who the dukes were, but the pharaohs, they're anonymous, so it could have been any one of those pharaohs over there. Any one of them. It's a bunch of them.
Yeah, Pharaoh never gets a name for how big of a everyone knows Moses, and Pharaoh, but you don't know his name. They never actually not that important.
Go figure. Apparently. I wonder why they decided to leave that detail out, but I'm sure it's whatever.
Oh, I'm sure. And so I think you made a good suggestion. I think it should be replaced to Charles Heston. Is that what
Charlton Heston?
Charlton Heston. Okay, my millennial just
unless somebody else can come up with a better name for Moses.
Okay, Charlton. Okay, Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra talk to Pharaoh Bling Bling the third. We're going to start off with some hilarity, but that's not all, because we have a good amount of cruelty, and just in case we weren't having a good meal, we got a little bit of injustice. So let us begin.
SpongeBob Justice, go ahead.
SpongeBob Justice. And afterward, Heston and Aaron Ra went in and told Pharaoh Bling Bling III that saith the Lord, God of Israel Smishmael, the dude, not the place, let my people go. Hey, this is the famous, let my people go. And they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel Shemishmael go? I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel Shemishmael go." And they said,
A
"The
feast in the
God
wilderness? That sounds like the best thing ever.
feast." I know, sounds
In
like
the
food. Okay.
wilderness?
In the wilderness, in the RuneScape wilderness? And they said, "The God of the Hebrew sandwiches have met with us. Let us go. We pray thee 3 days journey into the desert." The desert seems to be the hot spot these days, if you get what I mean. "And sacrifice unto the Lord our God, lest the fall upon us with pestilence," always a good word that we want to hear, "or with the sword." Okay, so Moses and Aaron said to Pharaoh, "God says, let my people go. Have a feast to me in the wilderness." Why is he telling him to let his people go if he already knows that Pharaoh's going to harden his heart? Not to do prophecy here, but
Yeah, God already made it so Pharaoh wouldn't. It's just amusement for God, I guess.
I guess. The Pharaoh said, "Why should I obey your God, specifically since I have other gods?" And the Bible seems to acknowledge this. "I don't know him." And
Well,
I
you
won't
won't,
let him go.
because God already said he made it so you won't. So there you go.
Yes. In fairness, the Pharaoh is asking for evidence of a god. In fairness to Moses, why are you owning people as property? So both sides here. Both sides.
Well,
Oh,
I don't think Moses was against all slavery. He just didn't want his people
oh,
enslaved. Let us go out so that we
indeed.
may then enslave other people to us.
Yes. He's also not saying let the slaves go. He's saying let my people go. I mean, once again, what can I say? We're
Let us go
getting
slave other people, but lovingly and justly under the rules of God.
anyway.
Yes,
Exactly.
lovingly.
Moses and Aaron said, "The God of the Hebrews met with us. Let us go into the desert to pray for 3 days, or else God will kill us with disease or a sword." I mean, both evil and a little badass.
He doesn't
Not
know
gonna
which one he wants to use yet. Maybe he'll use disease, but then maybe he'll use sword. He doesn't know. Either way,
But
either one would be
but
good.
but James, not water. Didn't
Yeah, yeah.
say he
Oh,
was gonna
yeah, yeah.
drown people with
No,
water.
no, no. He'll
So
never do that again.
not a liar. Never says that. I don't know. I'm still waiting for that passage, Christians, that says that God can't lie. But so far he hasn't lied. So I'll give him that. He has. He hasn't drowned them with water, or has he lied? I don't think so. I think the people have lied. He's been
Well,
evil in other ways, but he
I
hasn't
mean, there
lied.
was
I'll
that
give him
whole
that.
thing about you'll die the day that you eat the fruit, and then they
True.
didn't die.
Well, and then the Christians and maybe and half of the Jews will do their apologetics. Well, then they died and all this. But yeah, the snake at least seemed to not be bullshitting. I will put that defense of the snake or the serpent. Snake, serpent. The where were we? Okay. Give me 1 second while I get my lovely skull. In fact, I'll read it. "And the king of Egypt said unto them, Wherefore do ye Moses and Aaron Ra let the people from their works get you from your burdens? And Pharaoh Bling Bling the third said, Behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest for their burdens." The Pharaoh said, "Why do you and Moses let the people stop working? Tell them to go back to work."
Yeah, he's like the boss who's like, no breaks. You guys don't get any fucking breaks. No lunch breaks, no coffee breaks. Keep working. I don't care if it's 10 hours, 12 hours, because, yeah, I'm the Pharaoh and I can do that. So now Amy is going to retrieve her Shakespearean prop here. That is the skull, which is entirely appropriate for this exercise.
Every once in a while, I get a few yees or these stuck in my throat, among other things, and this helps me bring it out. So,
Praise God.
praise Jeebus, praise the flying spaghetti monster. Okay, what number? We just did 4 or 5?
We are on 6.
6. And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore. Heretofore. Here's a plier for a 2x4. Heretofore. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. The Pharaoh said to his officers, Don't give the Israelites straw. Very random and specific, but we'll take it. Make them get it themselves.
So that's like to say that, like, oh, well, they have a 12-hour workday making bricks. Now they have to, on top of that, also go out and get their own straw on top of everything else they have to do. Yeah. So, like, Pharaoh, he could be like a HR guy at, like, Walmart or one of these other major corporations. He'd fit right in.
I like that.
You're on mute, Amy.
Oh, he said, Brainbug said, Doubting Thomas's lesser-known brother, Hunting Peter. Okay. What number were we on?
We are on 8.
On 8. And the tale of bricks, which they did make heretofore. Okay, we got over that. Ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish out thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to our God. Let them more work be laid upon the men, that may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words. Make them carry even more bricks. Oh, I've read this story before. Pigs and a big bad wolf come after. If they get bored, they'll cry about sacrificing to their God.
Yeah. Yeah, so not only do they have to go gather their own straw, Pharaoh's saying make them do even more than they were doing before. So they won't have time to worry about going out and sacrificing to Yahweh or Jebus.
I mean, he is being a dick, I will say. And the taskmasters... And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, Thus saith Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where ye can find it, yet not out of your work shall be diminished. The Pharaoh's officers said to the people, the Pharaoh said, I won't give you any straw. Get it yourselves. Oh, snap.
All the straw belongs to me.
All your straw belong
to me.
Okay, so the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw, and the taskmaster hasted them, saying, Fulfill your works, your daily tasks, as when there was straw. So the Israelites gathered straw. Okay. And the officers...
As you do, right? Yeah.
As you do. So the taskmasters hasted them, saying, Fulfill your works, your daily task, and there was straw. And the officers of the children of Israel Shmishmael, which Pharaoh Bling Bling III's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, Where have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick, both yesterday and the day heretofore?
Yeah, I don't know who would condone beating a worker for, not pleasing their master. No one righteous or, even just a good person would condone something like that.
I can't imagine even a deity condoning that.
No,
that seems like something
you'd be
a
an
human
evil
could
deity.
get over.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna beat someone nearly to death, and then as long as they don't die because they didn't make you happy, I mean, that's yeah.
Gotta make them cry. I feel like Prince and them would get along. The one with a purple suit, not Prince, not the Dukes,
Not the purple hair. Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe. Then the officers of the children of Israel Shmishmael came and cried unto Pharaoh, Bling Bling the third, saying, Wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? There is no straw given unto thy servants, and they say to us, Make brick, and behold, thy servants are beaten. But but the fault is thine own people. They complained to Pharaoh, saying, Your officers gave us no straw and then beat us for not making enough bricks. Doesn't sound like a good guy if true. But he said, Ye are idle. Ye are idle. I got it the first time. Therefore ye say, Let us go and do sacrifice to the Lord. Go for now and work, for there shall no straw be given you. No straw given you? Not to you, just given you? Yet shall ye deliver the tale of ducktails. Oh, no, the tale of bricks. And the officers of the children of Israel Shmishmael did see that they were in evil case, after it was said, Ye shall not minish or finish order from your bricks of your daily task. The Pharaoh said to them, You're lazy. All you want to do is sacrifice to your God. Get to work. You'll get no straw, but you must make bricks.
I mean, this Pharaoh, he is being kind of a dick right here, but I almost feel like it's not just him. Like somebody is pressing on him, that somebody is making him be meaner than he might otherwise be. He might not be that mean, but somebody's putting pressure on him. Who is that, Amy?
It's almost like there's a god that is just very subtly, and I think there's actually going to be a direct moment, but it's almost like there's a deity that has it out for him.
Like, is making Pharaoh be just meaner than he otherwise would. Maybe he would let them go sacrifice to his god, but
Peter says, because of this chapter, modern day Christians are taught to make straw man out of whole cloth. And yeah, let me tell you,
or entire scientific theories.
Yeah, if I hear the words random or chance or trying to think of some others, rock soup,
dirt,
dirt. You came from nothing, don't you guys go out saying you come from nothing? Okay.
Well, Amy, what's your everything? What's the
what
base?
Is your ultimate?
Yeah. What's your base? You have nothing at your base. It's just you.
I can't explain what is. We should have entire 2-hour conversations about what is and why it is and isn't.
And
we're gonna get far.
Bring Bill Clinton on.
And bring Bill Clinton on. Okay, where were we? We were at 16?
I think we're at 19.
17, 19. Sold. Yeah, we're past DuckTales. And the officers of the children of Israel Shmishmael did see that they were in evil case. After all, it was said, okay, now we did read that. And they met Moses and Aaron Ra, and Heston and Aaron Ra, which is an interesting combination. But with those two, anything can happen. Who stood in the way as they came forth?
Baby. Wow.
From Pharaoh Bling Bling the third.
So they had a three-way going on.
They had a three-way going on. And they said unto him, The Lord look upon you and judge, because you have made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, and in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand, to slay us. Moses and Aaron said to the Pharaoh's officers, You're going to make the Pharaoh kill us with a sword, which is pretty badass, but still kind of evil. Everyone's being evil all the way around. Great time. And Heston returned unto the Lord and said, Lord, where hast thou so evil threatened this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to his people, to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. Moses said to God, why are you being so evil to us? And why did you send me? The Pharaoh isn't listening to me. He's still doing evil to the people. And you haven't helped us at all.
And God said, no, that's
Womp
what you think.
womp.
This is exactly what I wanted. This is what I'm getting, exactly what I wanted. Pharaoh's being a dick. The people are getting treated more harshly. And yeah, I'm having a good time. The people aren't enjoying it. They're not enjoying all the stuff Pharaoh's doing to them. Well, I'm enjoying watching it. So,
in fact, that's a good segue. So we just finished the book of Exodus, chapter 5. Moses and Aaron talk to Pharaoh.
well, what do you think, Amy?
Things are not going well in Egypt already.
Not yet. But I can only imagine things get better from here. So maybe God will relax his hardening of Pharaoh's heart and allow the Pharaoh just to let the people go. But I don't know.
I think theists will never live the Thanos analogy down, but couldn't Yahweh just snap? Why are we doing all the Hollywood melodramatics? I mean, it's interesting, and there's some good back and forth, but it seems like the only one that's not suffering here is God.
God, yeah. I mean, the Egyptian people, they're going to be suffering in a little bit. So, yeah.
And okay, if you've just joined us, welcome to our Skeptic Bible study, Moses, Creepy Crawlies, and the River of Blood. And we're on the book of Exodus, chapter 6. Moses meets with God again, but it's okay. We have some hilarity. We have some violence. And as always, we have some good old contradictions with itself.
No, so, Amy, listen, there are no contradictions in the Bible. Not even one time does it ever contradict itself. It only looks like it for the atheist. No, it never happens. It's always consistent unless you force it to contradict.
Exactly. It's us atheists reading the Bible literally. That's the problem. What you need to understand is the context.
Right. If you can falsify it, if it's possible to contradict, then it's not literal. There you go.
Exactly. If Pharaoh had a name, then we could look in the records.
Why would we do that?
Why would we do that? But instead, Moses meets with God again. Hey, let's say we're gonna have a pep talk. I'm okay with this. I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. Then the Lord said unto Charlton Heston, now shalt thou see what I do to Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third. For a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. And God spake. I don't know why he did that instead of spoke, but that's okay. He spake unto Charlton Heston and said, unto him I am the Lord, in case you forgot. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob's ladder, once again, in case you forgot.
But even by the Jacob. Name, even Jacob.
Even Jacob?
Okay. Wow.
I was gonna, if you had just said Abraham and Isaac, I would have been like,
Jacob,
okay.
Even to Jacob. Whoa.
And even Jacob. But by the name God, by the name of God Almighty, but by the name of Jehovah, that's about to get us a whole religion, was I not shown to them? And I have established my covenant with them to give them the land of, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. and I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel. That's okay. That's just they're playing Dead Space in the background. Don't mind them.
Fucking Pharaoh.
Fucking Pharaoh. And so God said to Moses, "Now you'll see what I do to Pharaoh." I am God. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in case you forgot. But they didn't know my name was Jehovah. And I imagine nothing will go wrong with that. I gave the land of Canaan to them when they were strangers. I'm trying to understand that. So they didn't know who I was, but I gave it to them. Okay.
I think it means they didn't know the land of Canaan. Like they. I think they were strangers to the land, but I don't know.
Okay. I heard the Israelites groan in Egypt.
Fucking goddamn Pharaoh. What the fuck? Making us do all these damn bricks. No straw. No straw.
No straw.
No straw.
So I said to them, I am God. I'll bring you out of Egypt to the land that I give you to your fathers. I could have not hardened your heart, and he probably would have just let you go. But
where would the fun in that be? I'm having a lot of fun watching this go on.
Okay, I think we almost got to the wherefore I said unto the children of Israel. Right. Okay, where I said unto the children of Ishmael, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of New York, of the New Yorkians, and I will rid you out of their bondage.
Kinky. Yeah, Amy's having fun with that one.
Woo-hoo. Oh, I most certainly am. And I will redeem you with a stretched out arm. I was hoping it was going to say leg, but okay, fine. And with great judgments. And they like their ands. Okay. And there's more. But wait, there's more. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God.
Oh. That's not an option. I'm just going to be God. I'm going to be God.
It's a little weird writing. I'm sure the Christians are somewhere out there saying this is a translation error, but once again, King James Bible. So
I'm going to play God in this exposition.
Yeah. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will let you be to you a God. It almost sounds like, once again, he's about to sing a song. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God. And ye shall know that I am the Lord your God, which bring you out from under the burden of the New Yorkians. And
after I put you under the burden, after I got you into there, now I'm gonna bring you out.
Bring you out, baby. That's not a Stockholm syndrome at all. Well, it also explains the people who invented sin, let's say in version 2. They love doing that. And I will bring you in onto the land concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, Shmabraham, and to Isaac.
And even to Jacob.
And even to Jacob's ladder. Amazing. And I will give it to you for an heritage. For an heritage. Okay. I am the Lord. Once again, in case you forgot. And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel Ishmael, but they hearkened not unto Charlton Heston for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. Oh my!
But wait a minute. Who am I talking to again? Who's on the other line here? Is this the Lord God? Is that you?
Is that you, God? Are you calling collect?
Did you just say you're the Lord God? The same one from Abraham, Isaac, and that same one Jacob knew? Okay.
Holy moly.
All right. I was just making sure because we've had a couple other gods call and, they sounded kind of shady, but you seem like the real deal here.
And it says God right on the little plate. So there you go.
Oh, well, okay. There you go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, God. Sorry. I didn't mean to don't send me to hell or anything, or don't flood my city, or
Yes.
don't
Hey,
don't go Sodom on me.
there's no hell yet. Just don't kill us. That's all we're asking
Don't
for
go
right
Sodom on
now.
me. Well,
Yeah,
at
don't
least he won't.
sodomize us.
He's like, well, I won't flood you guys. That's all the only promise I can make. I'm not going to flood you.
Yes. Now, if he kills someone by a sword, is that I feel like God is playing kill humans bingo. Like he can only
Yeah.
kill people once every few times. Is there like a
Pestilence
free?
or sword? Pestilence or sword? Which one?
Hi, Simos Funk.
Like you
We're
spin the
having
wheel. What's it going to be today? Oh, hey, Simos Funk.
yeah, or he like has like a chart of like things, terrible, crazy things to do to people, and he like throws darts, drown
I mean,
people. Ooh,
yeah.
that
I mean, he
sounds
already
fun.
knows which one it's going to hit ahead of time, so it's kind of a waste of time, but he just does it anyway because what else does he have to do?
I know. Well, he's been bored for like I assume eternity. I don't know what eternity and infinity are conceptually or without time, but I guess that's for that deity to understand because now he's kind of getting parental issues, family issues, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Well, what can go wrong here? Let's see.
What can go wrong? It's very WandaVision, I want to say. It's very like Yahweh is just in a sitcom. Da 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 da. House with Yahweh. All right.
Where
Go.
Yahweh is like Steve Urkel and he just pops up into the thing like nobody's really happy to see him, but they can't get rid of him.
Like I'm imagining like an all-powerful deity, but he's wearing like a sweater, and so like yeah.
Yeah.
Go and the Lord spak for some reason, spacking again on to Charlton Heston, saying, "Go in, oh baby, speak unto Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third, King of New York, that he let the children of Israel Shmishmel go out of his land." God said to Moses, very specifically, I don't know why God is having Zoom conversations with people, "Tell the Pharaoh to let my people go, and do it in an awesome way where your shirt can fall off and it'll be really sexy." And
Like Gavin.
woohoo! And Charlton Heston spak before the Lord, saying, "Behold, the children of Israel Shmishmael have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third hear me? Who am I on uncircumcised lips?" Oh baby, it's okay. It's okay. That's it.
Now, is he talking about a woman, female circumcision? Is that? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Circumcised lips. They cut part of the lips off. I
really am trying to understand. It does sound like what he is saying is, "But God, I'm not circumcised." And God's like, "Okay, fine. I won't add it to my popcorn list this time." Moses said to God, "The people won't listen to me. I have uncircumcised lips."
Okay, so no clarification, just making sure.
No clarification, just that the people very specifically won't listen to him. Okay, because he of uncircumcised lips. I think once again that should be a song title. Okay, and the Lord spak unto Charlton Heston and to Aaron Ra, and gave them a charge unto the children of Israel Shmishmael, and unto Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third, King of New York, to bring the children of Israel Shmishmael out of the land of New York. God said to Moses and Aaron, "Bring my people out of Egypt." But you're God. Why does it have to be? Listen here, buddy. Who writes the script, me or you? Fine.
Oh, wait. Here are we going to get some begatting? Are we going to get some?
Right.
This looks good.
And once again, we have a good hello to Titan Uranus, which I do every time that I listen to Moses speak to God. That's what happens.
So the genealogy of Moses and Aaron. Wow, I feel like this is going to be a An exciting chapter here.
An extremely exciting chapter. So, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, there might not be as much hilarity in this chapter as we might have hoped for, but that's okay. We still have a lot of entertainment. We're still going to have some good old contradictions with itself. We're still going to have, actually, I jumped the gun there. We're going to have some hilarity mixed in with the boredom. And as always, we like to hear Christians speak about those adorable family values that they like to talk about. So,
oh yeah. They're very family-orientated people. They're they're all about the family. Focus on the family, in fact.
It actually says somewhere in Christian doctrine, it's like no divorce, no homo, and if you pull out, we're going to zap you. We're going to zap you.
Yeah. God's not down with any of that.
Yes.
Unless unless it happens to be you, in which case you can still be a Christian, do all those things. If you're gay, you can still be a gay Christian. If you're divorced, you can be a divorced Christian. And if you're Christian, you can pull out without God just coming down and dropping a rhinoceros on you. But yeah.
And if you're wondering for the context of all of the things we just said, that was, and I forget which chapter, but it was in a previous chapter, along with Donald's lovely, we're going to say, interpretation of butt babies. So go back for more chapter fun.
Have we seen Donald in the chat yet? Has he made an appearance yet?
He might not, but he may be listening. Hi to Donald.
If Donald's out there.
Hi to everyone out there in chat and our lovely mods. And all right, the genealogy of Moses and Aaron. That's amazing. Charlton Heston, Aaron Ra coming together.
Their genealogy. Wow. In the Bible, of all things. In the Bible. 4,000 years ago. And we get to read it today.
That's amazing. There be the heads of their fathers' houses. Oh, baby. The sons of Dave Rubin, the first. Oh, man, we're about to get to
Dave Rubin.
Lists. Yeah, well, I can feel the list, the power of lists and exposition about to hit us in the face.
It's like a montage, like a Bronze Age montage. Like, we don't have time to go through all this stuff, so.
Exactly. Well, it's getting too interesting and too personal with the Moses story. So the sons of Dave Rubin, the firstborn of Ishmael Shmishmael. Hancock was a pretty okay movie. Okay, don't judge me. I've actually never seen it. And Paulo and Hezron and Cami. We're going to go with Carmi. Cami. These be the families of Dave Rubin. And the sons of Simon Says. Jamola and Jamin and Ohad and Jachin and Zohar and Shaw, the son of a Canaanitish woman, in case you were wondering. I don't know why he had to get really racial there, but okay. These are the families, as Simon Says. God's conversation with Moses is interrupted with some genealogical information. Exposition.
Praise God.
Praise Jeebus. Oh, right. And these are the names of the sons of Levi's genes, according to the generations of Jerishon and Kohath and Muramura. The years of the life of Levi's genes were 137 years.
That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it's not as good as 600 or 900, but I'll take 137. You take 137, James?
Yeah,
not bad. Okay, the sons of Jerishon, Lebanon, and Shrimp Cocktail, according to their families. Levi lived 137 years. Well, thank you. Good to know. I'll put that on my calendar. And the sons of Gohan, Armarah and Izar and Hebron and Uzal, and the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. Please, people, if you have a warning for heart palpitations, please
Now,
calm yourself down. This is the time.
let me just save anybody the trouble. If you're looking for Kolath in actual history books, don't spend too much time looking because, yeah.
I actually think I've seen some of these guys in Mortal Kombat. So,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Bible prophecy.
Bible prophecy. There we go. And the sons. I read that. And the sons of Maramala Mushi.
They're all about the same. So
these are the fine. No, who the knows if we read, if not. Such wisdom, such quotes. And the families of Levi's genes according to their generations. Okay. And Amaron Armadillo took him, Jokeb's bed, his father's sister, to wife. Wait, excuse me? And Amaran.
That's his aunt in other language.
That is a little bit okay. We're going back to Game of Thrones. Jokeb's bed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him
incest for Jesus.
And she bare him Aaron, Ra, and Moses. Wait, Are we doing we're going back in time? This is what this is?
I apparently, yeah. They're just in case you're wondering who Moses' parents were.
I just want you to know. This is not my critique. I'm just a small critique. They tell you just do minimal flashbacks. It's not bad to do a flashback every once in a while, but minimal flashbacks in a good story. But there's just one.
So Moses is a mother, or was that his father was, and his mother was his father's aunt also?
I guess so. Like I said, we're getting real Games of Thronesy.
Okay.
And the sons of Izhar, and Koran, and Nephig, and Zeruiah, and the sons of Uzal, and Michelin man, and Isaphan, and Zeratha, and Aaron Ra took him, Eljabiah, daughter of Abanibadabadabadaba, sister of Nahshon, to wife, and she bare him Nadab, and Abu, and Izar, and Ithamayar, and the sons of Kar, and Asar, and Elkanah, and Abasa, and these are the families of the Koranites. And Elzar's Aaron Ra's son took him, one of the daughters of Pitriol, to wife, and she bare him piranhas, pineapples. Go ahead. These are the heads of the father of the Levites, the Leviathans, according to their families.
It's all starting to make sense now. It's all starting to come together. Wow. You talk about this. This is a supernatural book. I'll tell you what. This cannot be the work of mere mortal man.
I remember being in Hebrew school, and they were like, who did Eleazar, Aaron's son, took to be wife? And I was like, Pitchcock? And they're like, no, it was Pudital. And I'm like, Pudital! Darn, I knew it. It was on the tip of my tongue. They always quote it. Okay. So
Ivanka Trump.
Ivanka Trump. Moses has uncircumcised. See, Ivanka had it easy. She's got nothing to circumcise. That's how you get in with the Jews. You don't convert. You convert on the female side.
There you go.
No,
Bill Clinton did it. Donald Trump did it.
Bill Clinton converted to Judaism?
No, but his daughter did.
His daughter did. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Chelsea, it happens. I want people to deconvert, but I always get into that argument with the Jews and race thing. And if you can convert to it, that's why Islam is not a race, or being Muslim is not a race. It is an ethnicity, because you can bring a culture, and you can even see. I speak so much Yiddish. It's hard to, not so much, but I speak so much Yiddish slang that it's hard to not, just like the
only when you're ready to shapeshift, though.
Only when I'm ready to shapeshift into a lizard.
It all starts to come out, yeah.
All starts to come out, exactly.
Moses has uncircumcised. No, we still have to do the uncircumcised lips. Yeah,
Moses has uncircumcised. So he announced it, but now we're having a whole chapter or a whole section on it.
He's going to tell us what it means, yeah.
All right. So I think it really is the only thing appropriate for a section of a book that says someone has uncircumcised lips. Okie dokie. These are the Aaron Ras and the Charlton Hestons, to whom the Lord said, "Bring out the children of Israel Shmishmael from the land of New York, according to their armies." God,
Armies.
God said to Aaron and Moses, "Bring out the children of Israel according to their armies." These are they which spake to the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel Shmishmael from New York. These are that Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra. Moses and Aaron said to Pharaoh, "Bring out the children of Israel from Egypt." And it came to pass on the day when the Lord spake unto Moses, Charlton Heston, in the land of New York, that the Lord spake unto Charlton Heston, saying, "I am the Lord." Spake unto Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, king of New York, all that I say unto thee. And Moses said, "Before the Lord, behold, I am of uncircumcised lips. And how shall Pharaoh, Bling Bling the third, hearken unto me?"
Doesn't matter. He won't, because I'm making it so he doesn't. But don't worry about all that. Just go do it.
Larry, you'll be fine. So God also spoke to Moses, saying, "I am God. Tell the Pharaoh the kings I tell ye to say to him." But Moses said to God, "Behold." I like how he says "behold." I would say, when doesn't everyone before they reveal their genitals say "behold"? I feel like that is, yeah. I am of uncircumcised lips.
I mean, it's very nice of God to constantly remind us who he is, every few lines. I am God. I'm God. Did I tell you I'm God? Amy, let me tell you, I'm God.
Did you know? Did you know I'm God? Hey, did you know that I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob? Hey!
I'm the Lord your God. Hey, what's up?
And okay, so we have just got done the book of Exodus, chapter 6. Moses meets with God.
Praise God. Praise Jeebus.
So what do you think? So much wisdom? We learned about
oh my gosh.
schnizzles.
Yeah, I don't know. We really could spend like an entire night just on that chapter, just picking apart all the wisdom in every single verse in there. I mean, so much meaning, so meaningful to our lives, and
to my heart, to the soul, that apparently isn't a concept in the Bible.
Amy,
At least
I am the Lord your God. I'm the Lord your God. By the way, I'm the Lord your God. And yes, that's right. I'm the Lord your God. Yeah.
Just in case you forgot. And okay.
The God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and the God of
Bob Barker, God of Jacob,
and even David Hasselhoff.
And even David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
And okay, so we're about halfway through. We're going to do about another 2 chapters. We are at the book of Exodus, chapter 7. God prepares Moses and Aaron for their meeting with Pharaoh. Once again, we have a lovely amount of hilarity, but don't you forget that the Bible loves to have their form of justice, their form of cruelty, and what would it be without some good old contradictions with itself?
I mean, if there's no violence or nobody's getting killed in a chapter, it's just kind of like a washout. It's like, why even have that in there? Because, yeah.
I know.
Nobody's getting killed or brutalized. Yeah. What's the point?
Listen, I want some blood, some sex, or, some drugs or something. I want a burning bush or something. Okay, so the book of Exodus, chapter 7. God prepares Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra for their meeting with Pharaoh Bling Bling the third. And the Lord said unto Charlton Heston, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron Ra, thy brother, shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron Ra, thy brother, shall speak unto Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, that he send the children of Ishmael Shmishmael out of the land. And I will harden the Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders, wink, 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 in the land of Egypt. So God said to Moses, See, I have made you a god to Pharaoh. Okay? And Aaron will be your prophet. That's a weird sentence. You'll see whatever I tell you. Moses will speak to the Pharaoh, and he will send the Israelites out of Egypt. I will harden Pharaoh's heart. I mean, this is the atheist. I don't want to say buffet. I don't know what
Yeah.
the correct
So
thing
much.
is.
Yeah.
But
Like a field day with this chapter right here. It's like so many things jumping out at you. It's like God saying, "Hey, go in there and tell Pharaoh. Now I'm gonna make sure he doesn't listen to you, but I want you to go and do it because I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the carnage."
I mean, he's the puppet master.
Yeah.
Doesn't he run all or pull all the strings here? I mean,
Yeah. Free will, Amy. Free will. You gotta have free will.
Supernatural.
He's not going to impinge on. He's not going to force Pharaoh to let the people go, or he's not going to force you to believe in him if you don't want to believe in him.
Of course not. But he may not drown you anymore. He may not nuke you like he did Sodom and Gomorrah. But take my word for it, he'll find a way. He'll find a place.
I don't know that he ever promised not to nuke anybody again. I think it was just not the flood. The nuking, I think, is still in his arsenal, so that's still an option for him. But
still an option, still on the table.
The nuking is still an option, yeah.
But yes, I'm sure there's an apologetic somewhere for this. Christians, half of the Jews that believe in this, tell me what the hell is going on here, because from the plain text, literal interpretation of it, it seems like and I will harden the Pharaoh's heart.
It means like this is just a play, like God's watching a play and he's pulling all the strings for his own amusement. Yeah. Kind of seems that way, but it can't be. It's not.
Can't be. But Pharaoh Bling Bling shall not hearken unto you, that I lay my hand upon New York and bring forth mine armies. Oh, wow. No, I've seen this Marvel movie. I definitely seen that. And my people, the children of Israel Shmishmael, out of the land of New York by great judgments. And the New Yorkians shall know that I am the Lord, which I stretch forth my hand upon New York and bring out the children of Israel Shmishmael from among them. And Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra did as the Lord commanded them. So did they. So I will harden Pharaoh's heart. The Pharaoh won't listen to you, so that I can bring my armies and show the Egyptians that I'm God.
This, I think, coming up next, we're going to get our second ever appearance of a snake in the Bible since Genesis 1. I haven't seen a snake since then, but apparently we're going to see another snake.
It's a snake. It's a snake. A badger, 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 badger. I'm not stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. The rod to snake trick. Oh,
now that's a good trick, Amy. That is a good trick.
And as the script writer in me is screaming, because I see this is a good visual effect. I mean, I understand why this made it in the Hollywood version, because it's like, hey, we can make something cool.
Make a stick turn into a snake. That would be a good trick.
Once again, more magic tricks. I don't see how this would prove a deity. Now, the theist would say, or the Christian or the Jew or whatever would say, well, at what point are you going to believe it? Well, I mean, it's getting us in the right direction. I mean, sure. But they never bring us the person that can actually do the magic tricks, or you don't want to call them magic tricks, miracles. Bring us the person that consistently.
So Amy, you just have to read the text in front of you, arbitrarily choose to believe that, and then there you go. That's it. If you just read it, choose to believe it, there you go. It all makes sense, right?
It all makes sense.
It all
now.
makes sense. There you go.
The Bible says it, therefore it is true. And God can't lie. I don't know where that comes from, but okay, sure.
Jesus loves you, this you know, for the Bible tells you so.
That seems more like what you just want in a relationship is someone who doesn't lie, but okay. A deity, okay, whatever. The rod to snake trick. And Charlton Heston was 87 years old, and Aaron Ra 83 years old when they spak onto Pharaoh Bling Bling.
So he's sick. Moses is 60, and Aaron Ra is 63. Okay. Thanks for the context.
So basically, they're children as far as the Bible is concerned.
Yeah. They'd be ready to retire soon, but in the Bible, they're just hitting their prime.
They're just starting. And the Lord spak onto Charlton Heston and onto Aaron Ra, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, I thought that said screw a miracle. Shew a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron Ra, take thy rod, oh baby, and cast it before Pharaoh.
Oh boy!
Whew. Once again, I think I've seen this on Pornhub.
Cast the rod, Amy. Cast it.
Oh, maybe. And it shall become a serpent. Ooh, you're right. Here we go. God said to Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh asks for a miracle, throw your rod down, as you do, and it will become a serpent. Okay. And Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra went in onto Pharaoh hard, like super hard. And they did as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron Ra cast down his rod before Pharaoh Bling Bling the third. It's a covenant threesome. I like this. It's a Yowie threesome. And became his servants. And it became a serpent. So Aaron threw his rod down, and it became... I don't remember that part. So both of them? Is there two? There was two of them?
Who, Moses and...
No, the Hollywood version. I don't.
The Hollywood version, yeah. Moses throws his rod down, it becomes a snake, and then the Pharaoh's like, yeah.
And then it's the Pharaoh.
I can do that too, and then his magicians come out and do the same.
But it wasn't Moses and Aaron. It's like Hollywood threw out the B character.
Yeah, they
I guess
special effects, you just do a limited number of special effects, I guess.
Well, when you're designing things, James, sometimes you have to simplify.
There you go.
In a complex world, designers like to simplify. I know.
But if you're God, you can just do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah. You would think. It doesn't say. I'm still waiting, once again, for the chapter that says God is everywhere. Because I don't. Apparently, he is only some places some of the time. But okay. Then Pharaoh Bling Bling, also called the wise men. Oh, baby, this is getting hotter. And the sorcerers. Wow, they called Doctor Strange. Now you could cover both bases and just get a wise sorcerer. Just get.
They called Chris Angel or somebody like that.
Or Chris Angel. Okay, we can have a real fake magician too.
Yeah.
Now the magicians of New York, they also did in like a manner with their enchantments. Oh baby, we're about to have a sorcerer off.
A sword fight. A wizard's duel like the Wizard of Oz.
This just got
Or
Harry Potter.
Sword in the Stone. Why did I say
We just-
Wizard of Oz?
We just got Hogwarts in this bitch. For they cast down every man's rod. I might have
Every man.
added
Oh,
a few letters in there. And they became servants. But at Aram,
Ra.
but Aron Ra's rod swallowed up the rods. Thank you. Thank you, Pibble. Thank you so much for letting me read that sentence. Luckily for Aron, his snake swallowed theirs. Oh, I get it now.
So, and this is actually one of the verses that I talk to Christians about, because when they're trying to say that their God is the only God, and it's like, well, no, when Moses went before Pharaoh, he did his magic tricks, but the Pharaoh's magicians and sorcerers, they were able to do magic. It's not like only Yahweh's worked and the Pharaoh. I mean, of course, it's a bullshit story. None of it happened, but even according to the story, even according to the story, it's like the Egyptian gods, they're real. They can do stuff. It's just Yahweh's better than they are because Aron Ra's rod ate up the rods of the Egyptians. So,
yeah, I mean, does winning first place make you God? Is that how it works? I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
So we were on 11. Then no. We went, okay,
13.
Here we go. 13. Okay.
Once again.
Okay. This is the third time that it's mentioned. I thought it was mentioned once in the story.
It's over and over again. The Pharaoh might have been willing to let him go, but each and every time, God's like, nope, don't, no.
Excuse me.
So
I'm sorry, Yahweh.
Your heart.
This is a 3-strike rule. Why the hell did you harden Pharaoh's heart? Except for plot armor. The fact that you need to do this for the plot to happen, this doesn't need to happen. But he's whatever.
Like, we're having a good time. Yahweh's having so much fun. He doesn't want it to end. He's loving this. No. Come on, Pharaoh. Don't let him go. Don't let him go. We gotta do a little bit more of these curses and everything.
I mean, I hate to say this, Yahweh, but could you not play with your food? Maybe a little bit less? People you're going to kill?
Well, I'll play with something else then. If I can't play with my food, I'll play with my rod.
And so we are playing with our rods because we have some good old injustice, because that's what this is. I mean, if we want to get into morals, this isn't fair.
And who's the victim of all this? Who's the cannon fodder? The people of Egypt, who have to deal with these plagues and all the hardship that is being brought onto them.
And where is Pharaoh's free will? Where that concept, once again, I'm not even saying free will is in this. I'm actually just saying that seems to go out. So I'm not actually saying that the Bible even contradicts itself, because the Bible is not saying it gives free will.
That's not a contradiction.
Away. The creationists are contradicting themselves, because the creationists, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but please show me where the Bible says you get free will.
I mean, now we just get into the Bible, but so far we haven't seen hide or hair of free will.
And yeah, that's basically what I mean. I mean, this Pharaoh was like, you know what? South Park even does. I've already done the South Park shtick. They even do Pharaoh a better justice, because Pharaoh was doing some dickish things. But I think what happens is basically Pharaoh gets to the point where he's like, okay, I'm gonna let the people go, but God's like, no,
you didn't say the magic word.
Exactly. The game is not over yet.
Yeah, I'm having too much fun for this to stop now.
And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto me, as the Lord God had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Charlton Heston, Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third's heart is hardened. he refuseth to let the people go. Yeah, he
Yeah, we
hardened
know.
his heart. Mission success. God hardened the Pharaoh's heart so that he wouldn't listen to Aaron and Moses and let the Israelites go. God said to Moses, the Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go.
So where's
Okay.
Aaron, Charlton Heston and Aaron Ron? You'd be like, God, why are you sending us before Pharaoh? Tell Pharaoh to let the people go if you already know you're not going to let him do that. God, don't ask too many questions around here,
Don't ask questions.
or I'll make a Sodom on you. I'll Sodom your Gomorrah.
Oh, Sodom, you're Gomorrah, baby. Okay, more shake weights. More shake weights. Okay. The first plague of New York. The river turns to blood. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Because God or Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, or whatever you want to call him, praise I am that I am, likes
Or Jehovah.
to be, or Jehovah, or
He's
jealous.
Or a few new names, yeah. Or the burning bush. The burning bush.
Or the burning bush. He likes to be a little bit extra. And so, why not some plagues? Okay. The first plague of New York, the river turns to blood. And of course, that's kind of, I mean, besides being horrible, it is a little bit funny that he is kind of doing this at all. It's probably not fair to the majority of Egyptians and not cruel at all, right? Right, everyone?
No,
Okie
not cool.
dokie. Get thee unto, I don't know where that, I don't even know what kind of accent that was. Get thee unto Pharaoh. In the morning, he goeth out unto water. And thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod, sorry, had something stuck in my throat, which was turned to a serpent, not a snake, a serpent. Come on, we're being scientific. Shalt thou take into thine hand, and
wow.
of course, and thou shalt say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews hath sent unto me thee, saying, let my people go. And can you do that twice? That's going to be like our big selling point. All right. Let my people go. There we go. Okay. And they may serve me in the wilderness of RuneScape. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest thou not hear. God says to Moses, take the rod that was turned into a serpent and go down to water when Pharaoh is there, and say to him, the Hebrew God has sent me to you to tell you to let his people go into the wilderness. Up to now, you haven't let them. In case you forgot.
People are like, why would we want to go into the wilderness? Just asking.
Just asking.
I mean, it probably sucks to be in slavery in Egypt, but I wouldn't call just wandering into the wilderness much of a rescue plan.
Not much of a rescue plan, no. Okay. Was it 17?
17,
Thou
yes.
saith the Lord, in this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. Ooh. And the fish, oh, come on. What did the fish do to you? And the fish that is in the river shall die. Yeah, that kind of went with the whole river blood thing. And the river shall stink. Once again, river blood thing. And the New Yorkians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. This is the way. That's funny. It almost sounds, this is the way. We just got a little Jedi here. No. I don't think you're as cool as the Mandalorians. This is the way. You'll know that I am God. I'll smack the water with this rod. Good visual effect. And the river will turn to blood. And always a good time to know you can't do it. I not when to because I'm generally a fan of practical effects for all my visual effecting, but there are certain instances where you have to do things that, let's say, don't happen in the real world. That's a good rule of thumb. That's a good time to use visual effects because your brain kind of naturally lets it go anyway because it says, "What the hell is going on here anyway?" Um, uh, and the Lord spake unto Charlton Heston, say unto Aaron Ra, take thy rod, and stretch out thy hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, upon their ponds. Now you're just making him do work. And upon all their pools of water, specifically, like he has to go into their backyards.
Every pool, yeah. Every pond, every little puddle of water.
So high.
Do you have a pool? I pool man. I got to go back.
Yeah.
And,
my name is Moses. I kind of have this rod thing.
Can I go in the back to see your pool?
Yeah, the rivers and streams were kind of easy, but I see you guys kind of have like an in-ground pool, and it's like
I wouldn't want people to be able to drink that water, so
wouldn't want people to think like we were leaving someone out or playing special with someone. And
so we're going to kind of need to have access to your pool for a minute, and then we'll make it so that it'll be toxic, and then we'll be gone. It'll just take a minute.
And just to finish that image, yes, Moses would be in a pool boy uniform,
and driving a Chevy Silverado with a trailer behind it, pulling the chemicals
with the chest like Charlton Heston. And the Lord spake unto Charlton Heston, say unto Aaron Ra. Okay, I said that. And Moses and Aaron Ra did so as the Lord commanded. Command and Conquer, the video game, now out, where he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh Bling Bling III, and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. So Moses and Aaron did as God commanded. Moses smote the waters in the river while the Pharaoh watched, and the river turned to blood. Oh, good. Pharaoh has a good front row seat. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. So, yeah. And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And all the fish in the river died. The river stank, no one could drink from it, and there was blood everywhere in Egypt. That's what he said was going to happen. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set this heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged around about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that the Lord had smitten the river. But shucks, the magicians know the rivers to blood trick too. Oh, well, there you go. So I don't know how that helps them, but they can do it too. And okay, so we just read the book of Exodus, chapter 7. Well, so what do you think, James? We're doing a bloody magic trick.
It's a shame that, when the Red Cross is doing a blood drive, Yahweh can't send somebody there to, turn like a pool of river into blood, and then they'd have all the blood we need for everybody. But he only does it in a way that is, punishing and that hurts people, not a way that helps people. Only blood that hurts people. And those poor fishes, all the fish tanks all over Egypt, all the fish died, and then they smelled bad.
Yeah, what the fish do. And okay, so we're going to read our last chapter of the night, and then we're going to switch into our open mic format, and you can tell us what you think of Yahweh sending down the first of his plagues. So the rivers...
Frogs.
Yeah, well, so we're getting into frogs, and the river has officially been turned to blood. So the fun has just begun.
I can't wait to see what else Yahweh has in store for these people.
I know.
And can you imagine, like, Pharaoh, like, he's ready to say with his lips, like, okay, go, but Yahweh, like, makes his lips say something else, and he's like, no, go, screw you.
Screw you. No,
Screw you. It's like, no, I was going to tell you guys to... You can't say the word go.
Can't say, you should all...
It's like Liar, Liar. Do you remember when... did you ever see that movie, Liar, Liar, when you can't say that the pen is blue? He's like, this pen... He holds a blue pen. You can't say that it's... Tries to say it's red.
It's red. I do.
Yeah. He ends up writing blue all over his face. Yeah. I'm sure that's similar to what happened here.
What's his latest? The Sonic movie was actually good. I should do a thing on that. I'm almost done my my Willy's Wonderland. Check for that soon too. We're gonna be mixing it up just because my fancy certificates of debt are in game and film. I'm gonna also be putting up more lovely game and film content, probably with a skeptic bet maybe on the end, and possibly even a skeptic news show.
Even a news show. So take a look for more fun coming down. But we are on the book of Exodus, chapter 8, the last chapter of the night, and the second plague, frog ooze. What did the frogs do to...
I know. Once again, what did the fish do? What did the frogs do? What did the Egyptians do?
So God's going to conjure these frogs and force them into existence just to be annoying to the Egyptians. I mean, if it was in France, they'd be fine with it because, you know, they okay, frogs, cool.
Fine.
That's a gourmet food all around. But yeah, I'm guessing the Egyptians were not, you know.
So I think even at a certain level, they may not want to be. I think if your first and second floor are covered in I see that's a hard choice. I like bacon, but I'd have to eat my way out. You know, if the first and second floor are covered in bacon, it may be hard to
But maybe you could just take another innocent animal's blood and like paint your doorpost with it, and everything would be okay. Oh, mute. Which mute? Earth to Amy. Yahweh to Amy.
I know what I'm on mute. I know. I push it.
I am the Lord of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob.
But I was typing. The second plague of frogs. Okay, so we're going to be moving into some hilarity. And then, of course, we have some contradictions with itself. The Bible likes to, of course, have no contradictions. It, of course, is an inerrant book with no contradictions.
We're just forcing the Bible to contradict. It's our problem, not the Bible's problem.
Exactly.
It's us, not them.
And okay. And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. That's a lovely sentence. And the river shall bring forth frogs, specifically frogs, abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy... Sorry, I got slavery stuck in my throat. and upon thine which into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. And the frog shall come up both on thee and upon thee and the people, and upon all thy servants.
The frogs are coming upon them. Wow, these
They're
are
coming upon
sensual
everybody.
frogs. Now, I can just imagine like the Pharaoh just sitting there, like, really, frogs? That's what you're threatening me with, fucking frogs?
Freaking
That's the
frogs.
best you've got?
That is kind of random. God said to Moses, when the Pharaoh, go to the Pharaoh and say to him, that is what God says. Let my people go, so they can serve me. If you refuse to let them go, I will smite your land with frogs. Frogs will come into your house, your bed, your people, and your ovens.
Frogs coming into your ovens. That's
Woo-hoo.
yeah.
And the Lord spake unto Charlton Heston, saying, Aaron Ra, stretch forth mine butthole. No. Stretch forth thine hand with thy rod. Okay, that works too. Whatever you're into, buddy. Over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds.
All of them? Over all of them?
I get what you're into now. And cause frogs to come up upon thy land of Egypt. And Aaron Ra stretched out his hand over the waters of New York, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. Before Pharaoh responded to God's frog threat, Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters, and frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. Okay.
Well, at least at this point, they're not waiting for a response from Pharaoh, because they already know that God's not going to allow Pharaoh to acquiesce to their demands. So they're just like, screw it, we're just going to go ahead and bring the plagues, because we know you're not even able to
bring the plagues.
Do anything different. Yeah, bring the plagues. Come on, why are we wasting time here? Besides, it's just frogs. I mean, just imagine if we did that in foreign policy today, like to bring peace to Iran, like hey, if you guys keep up with your nuclear program, we're gonna send frogs to you guys. We will drop frogs all over the whole country. North Korea too. You could have said Donald Trump there, like, I will drop frogs all over the whole country. It'll be tremendous. There'll be frogs everywhere. Amy, you're on mute, but you're still on mute because the frogs are going to be all over your microphone.
That time I forgot. Okay. What we need is the National Center of Trolling. We need the NCT. The NCT.
It'll be frogs. It'll be tremendous. It'll be huge, huge frogs. Bullfrogs, not just your little frogs, tree frogs, bullfrogs all over.
Okay. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, glory over me. Oh, baby. When shall I entreat for thee and for thy servants and for thy people to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses, and they may remain in the river only? Moses said to him, when would you like me to ask God to kill the frogs in your houses, but keep them in the river? Never? And he said, tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. And he said, it actually says tomorrow.
You got a little frog in your throat there, Amy.
And he said, be it, that also happens with slavery. Be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thee houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people, they shall remain in the river only. Pharaoh said, tomorrow. Moses said, okay, I'll ask him tomorrow. If God can remove the frogs, then you'll know there's nobody else like him. The frogs will get out of your houses and be in the river only.
Oh, damn. He's going to rescue him from the frogs. Okay.
And Moses, Charlton Heston, and Aaron Ra went out from Pharaoh Bling Bling III, and Charlton Heston cried unto the Lord because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Charlton Heston, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages and out of the fields. So Moses cried to God about the frogs. God, the frogs, can you make them leave now? And God killed the
Really
frog.
annoying, God.
Why does God? I like how did they just gain sentience? Were these just frogs that were like, "Woo, holy shit, I'm alive, Ribbit, I'm alive. That's cool, Ribbit."
Ribbit.
And then,
I gotta go into
and
this
then,
guy's oven here.
and then it's just like
I gotta
it's
go
like
into this Egyptian's bed.
yeah, got to go in this Egyptian's bed, and then God is just like, "Yeah, that was cool. Bye." And then the conscious
He
frog is
flips,
just like,
flips a light switch and they all die.
and they all die. Okie dokie, nice guy. Shuri 14, and they gathered them together upon the heaps, and the land stank. I mean, yeah, you're dead flesh, and God killed the frogs. I mean, how did he kill them? It doesn't even say, but that would be interesting. And
same way he killed the guy who pulled out. He just kills him. Zap.
Their bodies were gathered together into piles, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh Bling III, saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart. Again? Dude, what are you doing?
Now that is saying that Pharaoh's hardening his own heart. I don't know if that's specifically God, but after God did it like several times over and over again, now the Pharaoh, he's kind of being a dick on his own, but yeah.
But the Pharaoh hardened his heart, just like God said he would. Okay.
After God did it on his own like 4 times.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like Yahweh's wasting time here. It could have seemed like he could have just transported the Jews.
Yeah, but what would the fun in that be? Look, he had so much fun with the frogs. Now he's going to have fun with some lice. I mean, what party would be complete without some lice? I mean, you bringing the lice to the party, Amy? You bringing them?
I'm bringing the lice to the party. All right.
I got the frogs. You bring the lice. I got the frogs.
Got it. So, if you've been counting, we're now at number 3, the third plague, lice. I remember being at Walgreens. I always felt bad for it. Was almost sometimes the dads. Just when the parents came in for the lice, you could feel
the lice treatment, the RIT treatment.
Yeah, for the lice treatment.
My sister had lice when we were growing up. I never had it. But
it happens. Sell for about $50 a kit, and it takes care of it.
You remember that in elementary school they used to come through every once in a while and pick through your hair.
Oh,
they did in our school, yeah.
Absolutely. And the Lord, they've changed from lice to I won't even go. Well, it's a good joke. I always want to go. They changed a little bit from lice checks to school shooting checks, but things you know how times change. And
praise God, praise God, praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. Deep fried Americana.
But Amy, I have to say it was only after they took God out of the schools that the shootings went up.
That's right.
The drug use, the teenage pregnancy, all that, Amy, is because they took Jeebus out of the schools.
So, and it's because they're teaching evolution. You teach them evolution, and then they're just like, ah!
Right. So all those school shooters, they were all thinking about evolution when they went and killed those kids because, right.
In fact, exactly. I think most of them actually say a la Charles Darwin when they about,
I believe so. Yeah, probably.
A la Charles Darwin. And then they do that. Exactly. Yes. Okay.
Anyway, we can now segue back into the lice. I apologize.
Exactly. Can't help it. We like to rib all of the religions who don't have any truth here. They're all nice and fun. Okay, the third plague, lice. And the Lord God said unto Charlton Heston, say unto Aaron Ra, stretch out thy butthole. No, rod. Once again, same
thing, same concept.
Close enough. And One's bottoming, one's topping, whatever, and smite the dust of the land, and it may become lice throughout all the land of New York. This is not a fun time. This is not a trip you want to be on. Randolph in the house.
Oh, Randolph, welcome.
And I have to tell you, Randolph, there hasn't been Esau the Seesaw around, but he's very glad not to be around because the past few, let's say, days have not been the nicest vacation package for people.
The people are feeling, let's just say, a little froggy.
Hi, Spooky.
Hey, Spooky. Yeah, the people are doing a little froggy. They're, yeah. And, yeah. The blood drive, Yahweh's blood drive for the Red Cross, that whole thing happened, and now the frogs came, and yeah.
This is not a nice time. Did I read 16?
Killed a bunch of fish.
Killed fish. He killed frogs. He made I don't know where he got the blood from. That is a straight up Saw horror movie shit. Let me tell you, when your God is making rivers of blood, you might want to ask yourself if you're on the good guys team.
But, I mean, Moses and Aaron, they still had to go door to door and put the rod in every pool and stream and river. So that was a hassle, but they did it.
But they did it. He went.
Imagine if you're drinking a cup of water and they come up and just as you're about to drink and they zap your cup and it becomes blood.
Oh, except now, see, not only was he going door to door, just like there's like a guy, how about like Jeff? And he's just like, do. And Moses, he's just holding his rod. And he's like, got it. He's just like, he like hits the cup. Hey, sorry. Just, cleaning up loose ends here.
Or he does it wrong and the rod turns into a snake again. He could do like go gadget snake. The rod turns into a snake.
I think that's a problem for a lot of young men. It just, you wake up and then it just rod turns into a snake. It happens.
It happens to all of us, Amy. Yeah.
And
we've all been there.
And every once in a while, the next thing that happens, you have white stuff everywhere. So let's talk about lice.
Or lice. Or lice, yeah.
Or lice. Okay. So
or crabs.
Or crabs. Hey, Mr. Krabs. We're in a different adventure. And the magician.
Hi, I'm Kent Hovind.
Well, I'm Kent Hovind.
Hi, Mr. Krabs. I'm Kent Hovind.
I like to have a nice glass of water. Good glass of water.
I believe the Bible is true and scientifically accurate. And yes, that's not Amy. That's a picture of her.
See, remember, folks, if you ever want to do Christian Science, you just take this and we just got to get it in here. All right, we'll work on that.
We'll work on that. Okay, all right. Let's continue with the lice before they
go. Yes, and we're about to open up the floodgates too. And Doctor Strange, the magicians, did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice. This is funny. I don't remember this in the Hollywood version, but guys, don't get your magicians to make lice. I guess you're just proving that they can do it. Get your magicians to make the lice disappear. I'm just at a practice.
Get rid of the lice. It's like more lice. It would not be helpful.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Okay, Yahweh, you give me lice. Well, boom. Now we got more lice. Thank you, Spooky.
We're just then the magician said unto Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, "This is the finger of God."
Is it like inside of him or the finger? Where is it?
Stephen
like
Colbert
he just felt something like come in on under him, and like that's the finger of God.
Oh, baby, I bet
Yahweh is just checking your prostate, Pharaoh. You might feel a little pressure down there.
Excuse me, is there a finger? Excuse me, yourself. I'm God. I can do whatever I want.
That's the finger of God. Yeah, it's not rape when God does it.
Exactly. Okay. And the
Pharaoh's
magician
heart was hardened. Yeah.
Was that said? And the magicians did so with their lice, but they could not. I want to read that again. The magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. If you could just bring more lice, that would have just made your problems worse, guys. But okay. Pharaoh's magicians tried, but couldn't create lice with their enchantments. There you go.
Okay.
Then the magicians said unto Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." Okay. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. They said to
Well, at
the
least
Pharaoh,
just his heart was hardened.
yeah. Do you understand that correctly? It's common for everyone in general to have their own personal magicians. Wow, the Holy Bible is amazing, Randolph says.
It
I know,
absolutely is.
isn't it great? Randolph, don't you remember when you were growing up and you had your personal magicians? Come on now.
Yeah, turning sticks into snakes, bringing frogs up out of water, making rivers turn into blood. Just the average Sunday in New York.
Don't go crying, blood waterfalls. Okay. Else, if thou will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarm. Oh, wait, hold on. The fourth plague, flies. I didn't even. So
absurdity.
We have here some absurdity. We have some good old injustice. But the Bible loves to contradict itself.
Just a little bit, every now and then.
Just a little bit. It goes good on top. I like to put it on top and then sear it.
On top of some good contradiction, injustice, yeah, a little contradiction on top of the absurdity. It sears really nice with the frogs.
Exactly, with a nice frog. And so, else, if... Oh, wait, no. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, in case you get that problem, and stand before Pharaoh Bling Bling, in case you have that problem. Eo, he come forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go, boom, 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 that they may serve me. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, this is about to sound like a threat, I will send swarms of flies upon thee. Upon thy servants, slavery, and you're going to fuck up the servants, that's nice of you, and upon thy people, into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms and flies, and the ground where they are. Or I'll send swarms of flies on you.
At least not into their ovens.
Yeah. At least not into the
flies
ovens.
went into the oven. Yeah, the flies aren't going into the oven.
And if I was a slave, I'd be like, is there going to be like a plague that lets us go? Like all the slaves get let go? Is that one of them? No?
No. And then the Pharaoh's magicians brought forth fly swatters and did give each man a fly swatter and said, go to town like Babe Ruth.
Go to town, baby. Oh, I'll tell you, if you ever go to Philly, or I guess no, the place is in Philly, get a good old Babe Ruth milkshake. Tastes like a peanut butter bar. Okay. Else. And I will sever in the day in the land of Goku, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there. To the end, thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. Except in the land of Goshen, where my people live, there won't be any flies there. I discriminate between my people and everyone else. That way everyone will know that I'm God. Oh, of course.
Well, I mean, I get, because he sent the frogs to the lice everywhere, but now he's saying, okay, all right, my people, I won't send the flies to you guys. You still have to deal with the frogs and the lice, but I'm not going to make you deal with flies. So, yeah. That's very kind of you, God, but I imagine it's not going to get much better from here for the poor Egyptians, but
I do not
uh,
imagine.
I don't think it's going to get better quick. Oh, yes. She has plenty of props, Randolph.
I'm going to become Carrot Top at one point. It's just going to happen. My hair will become red. Okay.
I mean, it's better than some of the other colors it could become.
That's true. And I don't have flies or frogs or...
Yeah, I mean, your hair. Red would be better than other colors that it could be dyed. At least it's a natural color.
It's a natural color. And okay, I will put a division between my people and thy people. Thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be, except in the land of Goshen where people live. Okay, yeah. And the Lord did so. There came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh Bling Bling III, and into his servant's house, because he owns human property, and into all the land of Egypt and New York. The land was corrupted by reason of swarm of flies. So God sent flies on everyone in Egypt. The whole land was corrupted by all the flies.
As you do, you know, hey.
As you do.
Another Sunday in Egypt.
And Pharaoh Bling Bling III called for Charlton Heston and for Aaron Ra and said, "Go ye, sacrifice to your God in the land." And Moses said, "It is not met so to do, for we shall sacrifice we shall sacrifice the abomination of the New Yorkians to the Lord our God. Eo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the New Yorkians before their eyes? And will they not stone us?" The Pharaoh called Moses and said to him, "Go, sacrifice to your God." That sounds like a good idea. Everything will be fine.
He likes it. It's just really fun for you to do. He likes it, yeah.
All right. We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness of RuneScape and sacrifice to the Lord our God, Dan. Poor Dan. We should. I'm starting to really want a name now for every time they say our Lord, our God. I feel like it should be Lord, our God, Bob.
You see, it's really important for God that they go 3 days journey into the wilderness, because they couldn't just go 1 or 2 days, but they have to go 3 days, or else it won't be a proper sacrifice to Yahweh. It's just got to be that way, Amy.
It's all starting to make sense now.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, only a deity would do something like that. A real deity.
A real deity.
A real deity,
And
yeah.
Titan says the frogs were sent to eat the flies. See? They're thinking outside the box now.
Yeah, that would be like God pranking Noah on the ark by sending a swarm of termites.
Is recruit vampires, and then there you go. That blood gone. Everybody wins. Where were we? 27?
28. 28, I believe.
Yeah. We read the sacrifice? Okay, 28. And Pharaoh Bling Bling III said, "I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to the Lord your God, Bob, in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me." Pharaoh said, "Okay, I'll let..." as my voice cracks. "Okay, I'll let you sacrifice to your God in the wilderness, but don't go away and pray for me." Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds good.
Take a sip. Give him a second.
And you shall not go very far away from me, because I would get really lonely if you guys went very far. Don't go that far.
Lonely.
You know. I will be lonely. I'm the Pharaoh. I've got all these frogs and flies to keep me company. I've got lice.
Now you see, Alex thought that the frogs were turning gay, but what if the gays were turning people into frogs?
Mind blown. Mind blown. Praise Jesus.
Gonna go for it. So James, 3 days is a lot in the overgrown rainforest of Israel.
Yeah, I know, Peter. I'm just.
Hmm.
It's just only a perfect deity would be able to come up with something like that. It could not be the work of Bronze Age man. Not 2 days, not 3 days, not even 4 days. Only 3 days before they can make sacrifice, and then Amy can make
Three's
a
the magic
sacrifice
number.
to the spaghetti monster, and the sacrifice will be garlic bread. Yeah, she will sacrifice garlic bread to the spaghetti monster, and it will rain down marinara sauce.
I'll be honest with you. That's a decent sacrifice right there. Garlic bread? Who doesn't love a good garlic bread? Okay, so we're finishing up now, and then we're going to switch over
29.
to our
Yep.
right? So, and Moses said, behold, where's my little Charlton Heston was like, hey, how are you guys doing? Said, behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord that swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, from his servants and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh Bling Bling the third deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord.
Pharaoh's tricking him. He's a trickster. Okay.
So Moses said, I'll go away from you tomorrow and ask God to remove the flies. Once again, bring them in, bring them out. We're doing magic shows. But don't change your mind and refuse to let us go.
I would never do that. Pharaoh would never change his mind. God is not going to make him change his mind either. That is out of the question. It's not like, I'll let you go, and then God says, nah, change your mind. That would never happen.
That would never happen. And Charlton Heston went out from Pharaoh Bling Bling III and entreated from the Lord. And the Lord, Bob, did according to the word of Charlton Heston, and he removed his pants. No. The swarms of flies from Pharaoh Bling Bling III, from his servants, slavery, and from his people. There remained not one.
Not even one fly. Not even one fly.
God removed every last fly from Egypt. He made a giant trap. He made like a giant fly trap, and it was so cool.
If a camel had some dung in the middle, there would not be one fly to even swarm around it.
Fly.
Okay.
Very, very cool. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also. Okay, now it's a fourth time. Okay. Now it's a fourth time. And Pharaoh hardened. Oh, wait, no.
It doesn't say. Yeah.
It is Pharaoh hardened. But how does Pharaoh hardening his heart? How does the frig that work? And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also. Neither would he let people go. I think this is because his heart was hardened.
I mean, God did it like 3 times already. So, I mean, yeah. God's already has him in this disposition where he's, very hostile towards Charlton Heston.
Charlton Heston. Okay, everyone. So we just finished up the book of Exodus, chapter 8. We just got through the first few plagues. And if you would like to come on board and say what you think about tonight's Skeptic Bible study, I'm officially going to be changing into the open mic format, and we're going to be sending the link out into chat. Woohoo!
What are you thinking, Amy? What are your thoughts, Amy, on what we just read on chapter 4 through 8?
I was going to say, what are your thoughts? I'm going to send the link into chat. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, It's been exciting. We had that, aside from that little segue we had through a little bit of genealogy, a little bit of reminiscing about the Dukes. That was fun while we were there. But otherwise, it's been just action. God's doing things. He's taking action. He's, hardening Pharaoh's heart, and then he's punishing the people of Egypt. He sent frogs. He sent flies. He sent lice. He turned the water into blood. He's doing all these magic tricks, and it really makes sense because we see God doing all the things like this, directly intervening in our everyday lives today. Like I'm getting it beamed to me that there was a Christian somewhere in the state of Nebraska who had lost their set of car keys, and they prayed to God to help him find his keys. And you know what God did? God made him remember where he left his keys, and he went and found his keys. And so we know that God is real and that he does amazing things like that. Praise Jesus. Now, at the same time, there are also people all over the world whose family members are terminally ill. They have grievous medical conditions, and Yahweh, he might help some of them. He might not help the others. It's kind of he helps who he's going to help. It's not just by chance. It's not just up to the doctors. God is directly intervening. It's just he does it in ways that are not obvious to us.
Yeah, you got to know you got to be on his level to understand his plan, James. It may seem silly and something that would make sense 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, but who are we to question the wisdom of the Bible?
No, we're nobody. We're nothing compared to this God. Yeah. We're terrible, reprobates, filthy people, disgusting people. We deserve to go to hell. We deserve to go to hell.
But there's no hell yet. Don't put us in there. We just deserve to get smited.
When it's made, we will deserve to go there.
Yes, there we go. Once it's made. And okay, so I'm gonna bring in Peter. Peter, how are you doing? And what do you think? Oh,
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Well, praise God, Peter. What do you have to say about God today?
Yes, so we are on Moses, creepy crawlies, and the river of blood. And so what are your thoughts about, it looks like we're about halfway through the Moses story.
Well, I wanted to respond to something that James just said, because there are some things that just make me mad. I mean, he just told the story about the guy who lost his keys. Yes. It is people like this who prevent God from saving people from cancer and making them survive car crashes, because God is taken up by these people and pretty much wasting his time finding car keys when he could do a lot more important things. I mean, he needs to make sure that if a tornado hits your house, the Bible will land in a place where people can find it, open on the exact correct page. That takes a lot of work. I mean, these people don't seem to think what it is like being a god. All the things you need to do. So
that's true. Managing every atom all over the universe, yeah.
Yeah, these people are narcissists, I think. They need to go find their own keys or find a thing.
And can I tell you something, Peter?
Yeah, go ahead.
I only have basically a single memory of truly being a theist. Just a single memory. Because even in Hebrew school, didn't think about God. Me and my friends were like, we want to buy candy because they had a candy store, and let's get the hell out of here. And so the only time I ever remember praying to God was I had a pair of keys that a specific key was to my house, because I didn't really leave the neighborhood. It was a really sheltered, nice neighborhood, and so if I lost my key, I couldn't go out and play with my friends. And I remember being like, "Come on, God, get the key." And it's funny, 15 minutes later, I found the key. Now theists will go, "Well, there you go. There's your test. You had the key. you lost the key, and then you searched for it, and God, I guess, pushed it out of the closet or underneath the couch, and it's like, yes, it was that, and he wasn't saving someone from cancer. Yes, thank you, God. Yes.
Or it was that he hid the key in the first place.
Yeah,
Test
why
it.
not?
So can I address Spooky in the side chat real quick?
Sure.
Because Spooky said, "You're not my real dad. Gonna go for it." Spooky,
Ah.
in line of a trending apologist at the moment on social media in general, I think I'd like to reply to that with, "How do you know that?"
Well,
Pe-
Peter,
people-
aren't
pe-
you an
Dun,
ordained
dun,
Catholic priest?
dun.
Aren't you also? Don't you have the title father? I thought you were a Catholic priest at one point.
No.
Not
do.
one of those priests, but you know that.
No. I am an ordained minister. I still
Yeah, that's
am.
yeah, yes.
I'm an ordained minister in Buddhism. And I got
Okay.
a certificate. I got my certificate to prove it.
Is that similar to Dr. Hoven's doctorate degree?
No. This is even easier, and you don't have to pay.
Oh.
You just go to a website and say, "I want to be a minister," and bam, you're a minister. Sadly, in the Netherlands, this religion isn't recognized, so I can't marry people legally here in Holland. I do, however, would be able to marry people I think, in Denmark, in the U.S., and several other European countries. So, yeah. Oh,
Well, praise God, praise Jesus.
Praise
you-
Jesus.
Now you put it full screen. Now you're going to make Spooky look very old. Spooky's avatar is the guy that is substituting for Einstein in my avatar.
Woohoo!
Well, Amy, so let me ask you this: what's your favorite plague so far? Which one do you think is really just
I
like
don't know. Well, I'll tell
Yahweh?
you.
Which one is sticking it to these Egyptians? God is really hammering them hard.
I'm not Gothic, but the little bit of Gothic in me can't help but appreciate the River of Blood. I mean, that is
Okay.
kind of bad. I'm sure the people there were enjoying it, but it sounds like a cool visual or practical effect. Make lots of Kool-Aid.
I guess as opposed to just making lots of frogs or lice or flies, the Blood River thing would be kind of more epic. Oh, I'm sure it is, Randolph. I'm sure it's totally legit.
Dude,
What about you, Peter? Any favorite plagues so far? Anything stick out to you?
I wouldn't say it's a favorite one, but so the Netherlands is preparing for the next upcoming plague, which is pretty much yearly, and it is related to religion because it's the oak processionary caterpillar. So they come along in a procession, and so that made people think of Catholics because they were usually the guys who had processions. So that's what they got their name after.
Now I know
was named by the famous Carl Linnaeus, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And so, but they're venomous, and their hairs can cause skin irritation and asthma. So it's a pretty good plague. Pretty good.
Yeah,
plague,
that is pretty good. Now I only know in Europe. I believe that the Catholics for Easter in Poland they go around with buckets of water dousing people with water, but I don't know much about it.
It's even more fun in Spain, because in Spain they've got a procession and they've got costumes, and for people who are not who are from the USA, I may have to explain this. So they wear long robes with pointed hoods that cover their faces, and so that's been going on for hundreds of years.
Is that like
I hear there's
We have a group
some,
like that here.
yeah, there's some fan fiction going on in the U.S. Using the exact same costumes.
Is that like
the funny enough,
Inquisition clothes, like the San Benito, the hat that they would make the people wear before they burned them?
I'm not entirely sure. This is a separate branch
You said
of the
Spain.
of the Catholic
The
Church.
Inquisition,
Of the Catholic Church in Spain. But I find it extremely funny that the fan fiction group in the U.S. that is wearing the exact same clothing is vehemently against Catholics while wearing their clothes. I mean,
I think they've kind of lightened up a little bit on Catholicism now, but I do know back in the day they wouldn't allow Catholics into their mix. But
no, Catholics still aren't considered.
Are they
Christians.
still banning Catholics? Okay,
Yeah, they're not considered Christians. I guess they're considered dressmakers. I don't know. I have no clue what their line of thinking is.
Those lovely people wearing their hoods.
Mm-hmm.
Those lovely Christians wearing their funny garments.
Yeah.
Praise God. Praise Titan.
Hey, I was going to say this is Discordism, but in dudism, they have a slogan, and it's I'm a dude, she's a dude, he's a dude, we're all dudes now. Close to Discordism, which is another good one, where they're all apparently a pope. And then Randolph says, how long did it take the rivers of blood to coagulate? Curious minds want to know. The Bible went out of its way to say it stunk, which is like...
Well, the fish float to the top, the fish, you know how fish smell. I mean, it must have, and then actually it was probably magnified because the people couldn't bathe, so the women around there, I mean, just imagine that stench. They wouldn't be able to...
I'm sure everyone...
proper hygiene. In terms of fish, though.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I just looked it up. So the hood seems to come. The color is different. People who were condemned to death to be executed wore a red one, and other punishment used different colors. So it was the people who were being punished who were made to wear the hoods, and it does come from the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay,
you're correct.
The San Benito, and yeah, they would have like demons or devils drawn on them. Just it's a festive environment for the crowd when you're going to be killing people because they have a different religious belief than you, as you do, right, Amy?
As you do.
Yeah, and so the Catholic Church in general is all about having nice costumes. So,
oh yeah, like the nice costumes for the bishops, the Pope, the nuns. The nuns. Yeah.
What also worries me just a little bit is that the KKK, so they adopted something from the Catholics, which also became famous in the U.S. as the dunce cap. So I don't think these people thought things through.
Well,
it's kind of fitting.
Thankfully, it's not. Yeah, it is kind of fitting. Thankfully, that's not really used much anymore, except in maybe some creationist private schools. Who knows what they do in there?
Yeah. Right.
And I think the joke is they turned it in lately for tiki torches. So who knows? Hi.
Yeah.
Don't want to go political. Huh? I just have to...
Yeah, creationist private schools. It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
Pandas and people, right, Amy?
Oh,
Pandas
I know.
and people. Dr. Hovind is a science expert.
His book, right?
Well, okay, so we do a shout out for him because he's currently looking for his fourth wife after his third just left the compound.
When did that happen? I did not hear about that.
I think that was a couple of months ago.
Cindy left Hovind.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is kind of sad because Cindy bought up a fair amount of real estate in the neighborhood. So, and I'm not sure where those funds came from. But that may not be a loss for creation science evangelism. I don't know how they distribute their funds, but
for God. It's all for God, Peter. All the money they bring in, they put it right back into the kingdom. Right. It's about saving souls.
Since we're on the topic of not thinking things through, so I don't think you've covered that yet in your Bible studies. But so there's a famous thing where God strikes people who are going to build a tower so high it reaches heaven.
We were at the Tower of Babel.
Yes, another fun fact is that Hovind currently is raising money to build the world's biggest dinosaur. I don't know if that's a good idea, because it's going to be tall, reaching up to heaven and things.
But why? Why is he doing this? It's just another gimmick. He's just like, we're gonna build the world. We're gonna build the world's largest dinosaur.
Yes.
Well, Ken Ham built the ark, so I mean, what else does he have to do?
Yeah, it's all for the glory of Ken. I mean, for God.
For the glory hole of God.
Yeah, and the most worrying thing, and this only came out today, he's asking for donations or for people to send them 50cc quads, because he wants to make a racetrack and have the kids race. Keep in mind that this guy doesn't have any insurance, and anyone who gets killed on his compound is pretty much left where they're at. They're not going to get a cent from Hovind.
You got to sign a waiver. You got to sign a waiver before you come on.
Yes.
We don't want the devil to, try and make accidents happen, then sue us, and then we lose everything. It's for God.
Yeah. It's not enough that we have a facility where we can actually drown kids. We want to have them killed in the most horrible accidents involving motorized vehicles that kids aren't used to operating.
Well, Peter,
that sounds like a really good idea.
Peter, it's even better, because what we've done is we've bust in sex offenders from all around the country, and we bust them in here to our compound, and then we just have them wandering around with the kids. Because, Peter, what could go wrong with that? What could go wrong? God is in control, so...
That has already happened. They already have a registered...
Jesus, take the wheel.
No, they have a registered pedophile staying at Dinosaur Adventure.
Yeah, because, hey, God is in control, so God's not going to let anything bad happen, so don't worry about anything like that.
Who is the registered pedophile?
That is the guy from, I told you, from California. He had that incident with where he was playing strip poker with two underage boys, and it was just a game. But
I think his name was John Richards, but I'm not entirely sure.
Because of his religion, they prosecuted him and made him a sex offender, and now he lives on the compound with Hovind. But it was all trumped up charges. It's the best excuse that I've heard is that it was consensual. Oh, with the
10-year-old kids.
Okay, 9-10-year-old
kids
boys.
agreed to play strip poker.
Okay,
well, because that's a thing.
Because I guess that makes it okay, right? I guess
because Jesus said so, right?
Yeah, Jesus would be fine with that.
I can see Amy get angry, so maybe we should switch.
No, it's so funny. These are the same people that are like the slippery slope from transgenders and gays and all this.
Amy,
and then they're like, excuse me, I about hating those transgenders and gays. Hey kids, I got a poker match and it's kind of warm in here. So
I forgot my pants.
By the way,
I forgot my pants.
I'm going to abuse every single segue you throw at me, Amy. Regarding the transgenders, I want to announce that after this Sunday, I'm going to get in touch with Katie Montgomery, who's going to come on our show, and Amy has volunteered to be my co-host for that show. So this is one that I'm really, really, really looking forward to.
Our Amy? She's going on your show? Oh,
yes.
Well, woohoo!
Amy's going to be the co-host. I think Robert and I unanimously decided that should happen. So
couldn't pick the better one, I tell you.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Fire up that yeah.
And Katie is awesome. She is another one of that's out there in the atheist community kicking butt.
Absolutely.
So
good channel.
Katie's channel is mostly about transsexual issues. So the things that transsexuals are still confronted with about gender criticism, and she does a terrific job with the shows that she does on YouTube. So if you haven't checked her out yet, and other than
go
that,
plug the channel. What's the channel called? Let everybody know, Peter.
Katie Montgomery.
All right, everybody. Got
give me a second. I'll find that and I'll put it up there.
Spooky's in the chat. Spooky will have a link. Spooky put the link here.
Spooky got the link. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and she kicks ass on a guitar.
Absolutely. Oh, does she now? I've not heard her play guitar.
Oh yes. She's in a metal band, and I've looked at their music. It's just awesome.
Well, okay, all for the glory of God, Peter. All for the glory of God. The music and everything. You know, it's important in everything that we do to make sure we do that for God's glory, not our glory. God's glory, Holt. Right, Amy?
Exactly. The glorious glory hole.
Spooky says Spooky has no mods. I need to make a screen capture of that. We're actually on a channel where Spooky does not have a wrench.
Well, you better.
I could never imagine that.
It's Spooky.
I thought I just heard some crickets.
What the hell happened there?
Spooky.
I'm hearing birds and crickets in the background. Is that you, Peter?
Yeah. Living life in the country. Sun just got up.
I was going to say, it's morning there, right? What time is it?
Yeah. It is 8:30.
8:30 in the morning. Wow.
Wow, really? It is about 2:35, so we're coming up on almost 3 a.m.
Well, I mean, it's nice of Yahweh not to send plagues there. You know, you guys aren't having frogs come out of the rivers and flies and lice and everything. So just thank God for that, because he could if he wanted to. He could, but he hasn't.
God just brought a beautiful singing bird next to my window. So
I mean, and there you go, Peter, because that could only happen with the will of God, because nothing like that could happen. Listen to that bird sing. Listen to that. That could not be just random chaos from a dot of nothing and rocks. That's beautiful. That's God.
And guys, just look at the trees. Look at the trees,
which aren't as abundant as they used to be, because the farmer decided to cut a lot down, so it probably grow back this summer.
The farmer is doing much better than the baker, so there you go.
Yeah, so I'm renting the property, so he's still in charge of.
As opposed to renting your clothes, which
which seems to be a thing among Christian apologists
in Genesis. Yeah, renting clothes was a thing in Genesis.
I mean on YouTube. Just ask Randolph.
I've shared some of that with Amy.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm doing a debate with Gavin, possibly coming up in a few weeks. So I am so.
You're doing a debate with Gavin.
Yes,
man.
Are you going to ask him whether or not he has pants on?
No. So. And this is the warning I give to Gavin. You know, Gavin, you're watching, so I won't say it behind your back. Wear pants, because if you don't, I will roast the I will. I know you've debated Christians and atheists and all that, but have they been comedians? Because let me tell you, good sir, I hope you come pantsless, because I will sit here just day and night. We'll go out there and we'll see you. Woohoo! We'll get
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, Gavin, do some jumping jacks. Do a little dance out there.
Do a little dance.
Clothing optional. There you
That's
go.
true. Maybe I can get him in some sexy outfits. Who knows?
Praise God. Praise
Watch
Jesus.
the screen. Watch the screen.
Why?
Oh, I feel a magic trick coming on.
Got obviously a Bible on the table there.
There you go.
I mean, he's more dressed there than he is a lot of times.
But see, that's planned. Do you know why that's planned? Because he has a dress shirt. He took the time to make his tie, do his hair, his glasses are on, and you forgot pants? How?
Yeah.
Well, he's not planning on standing up.
No, I'm pretty sure that this is entirely planned.
Oh, it is.
And it is some kind of fetish that he has. I'm not entirely sure why.
It used to be I thought he was trolling atheists, but then he started doing it on Praise's channel, and so
also
like the other day.
Amy, note the bullseye on his cushion there.
Well, thank goodness he's got that there.
I have seen that chair. I've seen that type of chair before. It's almost a gamer chair, but he has it inverted.
Very
or
small.
Something. And that is kind of a bittersweet thing that he's got there.
I was on Praise's channel the other day as one of my lovable unnamed accounts, and Gavin wasn't on camera, and then all of a sudden Gavin went on camera, and he had the phone about maybe at belly button length, and we got to see that he had no shirt on. Thankfully, we did not get to see if he had pants on or not, and then he quickly turned the video off. He turned the video camera off very quickly, so we dodged a bullet with that one, but it did seem kind of conspicuous that he let us get a little glimpse of him there.
And keep in mind, when he did the debate with Randolph, he had no pants on. From that debate, he went straight to Praise's channel, and he had the camera positioned differently, and he had no shirt on. I'm almost certain that he was completely naked when he went on Praise's channel.
I think he just likes to go around his house completely naked. He only puts clothes on when he absolutely has to.
Oh my God, that's where I saw it from. It's brand new. Hold on, that's where I saw it from. I was like, where did I see that from?
Now that Amy is a jiu-jitsu practitioner, so she is still a white belt, but she's working on it. She'll get up there because she doesn't want to go, when she plans on going out to do debates and everything, and have one of these Christians who isn't down with transgender people try to. Yeah.
Wait, this raises all kinds of questions. Are you supposed to sit on his face, Amy?
That's right. You sit right there.
That's the goal. Yeah. So she doesn't want to go out for a debate with a Christian who is ostensibly against transgender people, and then when they're alone or whatever, it's like, hey, what's up, Amy?
If that debate's going to happen, I need to make sure that I'm going to be there live. I need to see that.
I wouldn't miss that for anything.
Nope.
No. And make sure you're recording it, because if anything like that happens, the recording will drop off and disappear and be edited. Yeah.
Amy, where's that debate going to happen between you and Gavin?
On Praise's channel. They've been gentlemen to me. So just let me say, I make jokes like I roast everybody, but they've been nice. And Gavin, if he's a sweetheart, I'll still be a sweetheart to him. But if he doesn't wear pants, I'm going to roast the crap out of him.
She will point that out, yeah.
I will. I will point that out. That will not go
I very much doubt that Gavin will be a sweetheart. He will be his usual obnoxious self.
Well, maybe he'll be a gentleman because he's talking to a lady. Maybe
he recently did a debate with Jefferson Spatchcock, and anyone who knows Jefferson knows that he's a really nice guy. Never raises his voice, never throws any insults, and Gavin was obnoxious to him from the word go. He can't help himself.
See, I forget which was insulting us first, James. I know Praise and Smokey were doing Even though praise is nice to me, I guess once you enter the boxing match, it's a little bit different. Though
I think
it is funny.
I think Praise likes to see the dumpster fires, and this is why he allows Gavin to come on his channel half naked. And so when Randolph and I started calling Gavin out, Gavin has mod ability on his channel, so Gavin started No, he kicked us from the stream, and then Praise brought us back in, and it turned into a StreamYard version of Wheel of Fortune because they were trying to beat each other, kicking people out and bringing people back in again. It was hilarious. One of the funniest things I've ever been on in a live stream. So I think Praise actually likes to see atheists calling out Gavin and Gavin being obnoxious to atheists.
As he would be, yeah.
Yeah, so
I've seen Gavin. At times he can be a little disrespectful, especially to members of the LGBT community.
No, Spooky just put it in the side chat. Praise and his gang aren't so nice behind your back. That's 100%.
I mean, it's what I'm sure. I will say, I love everybody, and so it's not returned. I will, like I said, I'll roast people, but I actually have a little bit of love, and I love Kent. I can't even hate Kent Hovind because I can only laugh, and so I guess when you can laugh about it, it's very hard to hate those people.
You feel for him when he's trying real hard with one of his jokes and it bombs out. Nobody laughs.
Man, that is
you
so
empathize
funny.
with him.
He so badly wants to be a comedian.
If you're still using the same joke that you've been using for 2 decades and you don't get any new material, Amy's a stand-up comedian. If you're going to do the exact same thing for 2 decades, not a lot of people will come and laugh.
Yeah. You could do the routine maybe for a year or two, but then after a while, you got to get new material. You gotta.
These are Christians, so they're not like very intellectual with their humor. It's very basic, very garden variety juvenile humor.
Yes.
These are not the sharpest tools in the shed. They're not
and I will
very
say,
sophisticated.
We're making jokes here. We're making crudeness here, but it's more like we're trying to. That is the goal. This is a comedy show, and I hate to defend, hide behind. Well, this is comedy. I mean, the whole trolling for Jesus is just a funny concept for me. Like, okay, hey, do it.
And there's a channel in Israel that you couldn't beat. That has a very pretty girl in a bikini, and they're trolling Christians all the time. So they made a mockery out of the crucifixion, literally everything.
Is it a secular channel or is it?
I have no clue. I don't even know if it's still on, but they've brought dildos on screen, and it looks like a kids show. Woo-hoo! So the whole thing is done like it is a children's show.
That is kind of. I'm basically trying to make
on EWTN.
I hate to say evil Sunday school, but let's just say this: it's un-Sunday school. It's like, hello, kids. This passage is gonna be boring, but don't worry. There's tons of injustice right after this.
Yeah, it's a really funny show, but I wouldn't want kids to watch it because you'd end up with very, very screwed up children. I mean,
I'm not sure I'd want kids to read the Bible after reading the Bible. Let me tell you.
Listen, boys and girls, this is so fun. Let's color this thing about Noah. Look at Noah. He's on the ark with all the animals while everybody else is drowning and dying. I mean, all the puppies and all the kitties were dying? Yes, all of them. All the panda bears died? Yes, every last one of them. The lions and tigers and bears, all dead. Oh, praise God.
Even the babies.
Even the baby pandas. Even the baby little muskrats and their little muskrats and the beavers and the kangaroos and the koalas, all dead. They had to do it. God had no other choice.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do when you're a deity.
You gotta you gotta kill everybody. You know,
Gotta kill everybody.
kill them all and let me sort them out.
And like, which once again is such a honorable statement. That sounds like you're the good guy. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
I am. Praise me, or else.
Yeah.
You better praise me. I mean, I won't make you praise me, but if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
For people who want to see it, I put a link in the chat.
Oh, so I'll pin that for a little bit, and then I think we're getting close to wrapping it up, guys. Unless someone else comes in. It's been, yeah, but it's been a fun Bible study.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
I have to say the Bible's a lot more fun when you guys read it.
Well, thank
Just
you.
saying.
I think
Thank
so
you
too.
so very much.
We've heard
It
that
keeps
from a
us
lot of
safe.
people. Like a lot of people, they originally, even me and Amy, at first we were wondering if we would go over well because it could be dry, but we make our way
But
through it.
it
Pat
turns out
ourselves
it's
in the
pretty fun. And speaking of a whole barrel of fun, Randolph Richardson, how are you?
Randolph.
Doing good. I figured
We've
I
got
could join for at
James,
least a few
Amy,
minutes.
Peter, and even
Randolph.
Randolph coming.
Even Randolph. I
Yeah.
love that.
And I am
Even
wearing,
Randolph,
I am
welcome.
wearing pants, but I will truthfully
have to
admit
make-
that my feet are naked.
I have
okay.
I have to make this
I'll
joke,
let you
Randolph. It really took you a girl in a bikini mocking Jesus to say, "Well, okay, now I need to join."
Oh, I missed
Now
that part.
You missed that part.
Oh, what happened?
No, so we were talking about. I was talking about an Israeli TV show that is set up as being a children's
Trolling,
show
yeah.
And doing some weird things with sex toys and stuff. Yeah.
with sex toys and Jesus.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
reenacted the crucifixion. So it's
Okay.
it's really funny. But it's not for children. I think it's really funny
Hey,
though.
James, how are you?
Doing good. How are you? So, how are you tonight, Randolph? And what do you think of? We're talking Moses, creepy crawlies, in the river of blood. We just had hit about the halfway mark. We're getting plagues upon the city of Egypt. What are your thoughts?
And I was asking how James is doing, but I guess I got garbled. But it applies to everybody. Yeah,
I'm
So,
doing
how-
Randolph.
that's good. I think this river thing is bizarre. Like, wow. Yeah, I've seen gangs fight in streets, and the street gets full of blood, but it's whole rivers. That sounds ridiculously excessive. Like, why does this deity to go to all this trouble to do these things and flood the world and stuff like that when you could just very easily snap his fingers and just make things the way he wants them? It'd be a lot easier.
would be
Wouldn't
fun.
have to put into all this kind of stuff. Like, it's very.
It'd be
It
easier,
doesn't make
but
sense.
not as much fun.
I don't think it's fun. I think
For
it's
him,
grotesque.
only for him. Yeah, he's having fun.
Some loving father, hey?
Yes, absolutely.
He seems to have parent issues. It's a common theme. Is like he tries to be a dad or something like that,
He
and
sucks.
then it goes horrible. Yeah,
He
He
sucks
just
at
ends up
being
killing
dad.
people.
He
Yeah.
even orders fathers to one father to kill his own son. It's like,
As you
this
would,
is
yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
as any moral person. Now, Randolph, excuse me. He pulled the football away. Come on, Randolph.
His ways are not
Lucy
our
and
ways.
Charlie Brown. That's always a good reference.
So it's okay. It's fine. The kid lived. What's a little therapy?
You know, I was thinking would be a fun project to embark on one day if I actually needed to read the Bible. I have no need for that, but would be, I'm learning more from listening to your show. But to change all the male to female, all the female to male, and call it a new translation that is the sex changed translation or something. I wonder if that would.
The trans Bible.
Trans
the
Bible?
Transgender Bible.
I wonder if that would be popular. It could be the feminized version.
Now there is a version
That ought
of
to
the New
upset
Testament. There is a version of the New Testament where they changed the name of Jesus to Judith, but I think it had to be trolling. But I think it was ostensibly that, like, oh, it was a correct translation, but I don't know. I think it had to be trolling. But
Wow.
Well,
Judith
and they got it wrong, because I know for a fact that Jesus' real name is Lisbeth. And I know this because she's come back and she's in the US, has her own ministry, and claims to be the second coming of Jesus.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Which
I'm just
translation would be the best one to translate this way? To transpose this way?
I would like to see, though. You need to write that Bible and read first.
Translate.
I'll have to call it. It's more of a transposition than a translation. It would be, but I think I would have to call it the Queen James edition.
You just want to have the word trans in there as much as possible, right?
Hey, can't complain.
It'll have to be a woman shall not lie with another woman. Oh, it's going to be very disappointing in many ways, I think.
That's going to ruin the fantasies of a lot of God-fearing Christians if a woman can't lie with another woman.
I am seriously tempted to embark on this project. It's just I thought about it today. I thought this would be. I wonder how popular this would be. It would be fun to actually take the Sinner's Bible and translate that one that way. If there's one passage in there that says, "Thou shalt commit adultery," because it's a misprint, right? But
yeah, that's the what is 1634 King
I looked
James
into
Bible.
it. There's like only 5 or 6 of them in the world today.
Yes, one of them is in Houston on display on the page where it says, "Thou shalt commit adultery."
Yeah, it's in the museum, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they still-
I can think of few things more blasphemous than your idea, Randolph. That's why I like it.
Yeah, and also the Bible is just I consider it one book. I'll probably be marked that it's 66 or 74 or 72, depending on what religion you're in. But at some point, Amy's going to run out of Bible, and we'll need a new one. And so if you get yours finished just before that, or at least the first chapters, then she can continue her show and then read that Bible. I mean, I'd sign up for that.
I don't know where I'd find the time.
Go,
that would be so funny.
Maybe next we'll go into the Quran
that are female versions too.
That's gonna be a while.
I'm gonna let you exactly. It'll probably be a year or more, and I want to let Aaron get all his out. But eventually, we'll do that, and then the Book of Mormon. There's actually a Skeptic annotated Book of Mormon.
Yeah, the Book of Mormon has a nasty chapter. It has a nasty verse in it for killing infidels as well. So for killing atheists.
Well,
just like the Bible does, just like the Quran does.
Well, keep in mind there are some good things too, because eventually, Amy, you're going to get to Songs of Solomon, and that's where the fun comes in.
Oh yeah,
because that's all about breasts and cunnilingus and fellatio and all the good stuff is there.
I'll have to transpose that to pecs, stuff like that. That's going to be so bizarre.
Well, it was actually about bestiality, but you know, original Greek.
And I will say, I just want to shout out to Aaron's. I realized something watching Aaron's channel, which is he has Arabic translators sitting with them, and I'm like, damn, that is so smart, because that is. You hear all day. You don't get this as much in Christianity and Judaism. Like the Jews are like, you have to read it in Hebrew. It's but you get that apologetic from the Muslims. So it's just a very smart idea. Yeah. Well, one step ahead.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud to say that that's the show that I produce. And so there's a new one coming up this Sunday. And just the people who are on that panel are one of the nicest are the nicest people I've met so far.
I
They stick around. The show may last for 3 hours, and they then will stick around for another 6 hours to talk to each other. And
Yeah.
when it's the ex-Muslims do not have a big community yet, and Arn is also providing that by getting these people together, and they'll have a chance after the show to talk for as long as they want. And
Network.
Please welcome them in Canada to join Canadian Atheists. We're setting this stuff up and building community here. I've got somebody in Quebec who might be opening something up there, a branch of Canadian Atheist, hopefully in the near future, if all goes well. But I'm wondering what translation I should transpose. Is King James the best one for this kind of job, or should I pick a different translation?
So we use the King James because that's what the Skeptic's Annotated Bible uses. But hey, you can use the New International Version. I think that's popular too.
But what would yield the best impact for some?
So the King James is used by the most bigoted denominations within Christianity. So if you want to hit hard, you need to translate the King James.
So there are sects in Christianity who consider the King James the authoritative one, the best one, and there are sects who don't agree with that. But the rest of them are like, you could use whatever; it's all about the same. But the fundamentalists tend to gravitate towards the King James as being pure,
and call it the Queen Janus Bible.
I want to choose wisely here, and so if that's possible with the Bible, so you're saying there's a different one from King James called the authoritative King James,
the authorized.
Oh,
yeah. There's a couple of them, but they're all basically the same. But one is called the authorized version because that was the one you were authorized to have in English.
Oh well, in that case, that's probably what I should strive for. Boy, this would be interesting doing this. The feminized version.
The transatlantic.
So you should make it the feminized and sinful version. So it should say women should sleep together.
Yeah.
And I would also I would call it the Queen Janus Bible, and then as a subtitle, official translation.
Now, King James, is James the last name or his first name?
First name.
Okay, so I'll have to
royalty don't use last names. Yeah.
Okay, so James was his first name, so definitely I'll have to change James then. So Queen James would have been great if that was just a family name, but it's
Jamie
first name. Pick something very close to James. Janus is pretty good.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh, Jane. Queen Jane's Bible.
There was a Queen Jane, or sort of.
And you should
call it very long.
And for Jesus, you should
for the S.
Randolph, for Jesus, you should have a Karen on the cross screaming, "I want to talk to the manager. I want to talk to the manager."
Excuse me.
The manager never responds.
And okay, guys, we're almost on 3 hours. We have been having some fun looking at the Bible send Yahweh some plagues into the city of Egypt. I can't believe some Bible fun. We had some rivers of blood. We had some flies and some locusts and
good old lice. Good old lice. And frogs. I like frogs.
Frogs.
So does Alex Jones.
Turning the frogs gay.
I heart out.
It's like no matter where Pharaoh goes, it's like out of nowhere. Then Charlton Heston and Aaron Rodgers pop out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hi, surprise! Let my people go, or we're going to bring a plague." Even though you won't let them go because God told you not to, but we're just reading the script here. While Pharaoh's on the toilet in the morning, and he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Alex Jones actually has a great voice for a cartoon character in all sorts of different things. It's very unique. Yeah, he's got a good voice.
I've seen many memes with him. I think the most popular is just him, putting out, pointing like that, and he's like, "No, you're a fake, and you're a fraud," and then it's the Oblivion background. So
You're
good
pretty
try.
good at imitating his voice well. You should work on that.
Yes, yeah. Now Amy would actually stand a good chance of getting him to come on the show, believe it or not.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, that's right, because he got caught with a tab of transsexual.
He did.
Imagination erotica.
It was a pop-up. He didn't mean to be on the T-Girl page. It was
No wonder he was so obsessed with gay frogs. It's a cover to try to distract people from all of this.
Yes. By the way, that video that you linked to, that's funny. I'm going to use that
The placebo
video. No, the gay frogs.
Okay.
What video are you talking about?
Alex Jones's song about the gay frogs.
The one that I shared.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a placeboing video. The placeboing is the group that made that video.
Ah, okay. I
Yeah.
just listened to it.
Or it might be placeboing. I'm not sure how they pronounce it, but it is fantastic. The best work I've seen out there in a long time.
It's a strong contender. So my favorite is still Uncircumcised Philistines by
Uncircumcised Lips even.
No, Uncircumcised Philistines by Ken Copeland.
Yeah,
because today
that's still my favorite.
We had Uncircumcised Lips come out today. That was a big thing in this in this passage.
Yeah.
I still don't know. I guess he was talking about his pecker down there, but let me tell you, use the word lips.
Now, Amy, I don't want to spoil it, but we do have something going on tomorrow night. Did you hear about that?
That's right.
Don't forget to plug that.
What is? Give me 1 second to find the exact. We're having an after show for the Matt Dillahunty debate at Modern Day Debate tomorrow, and come on back.
Dillahunty.
Will Matt Dillahunty be joining you too?
I would love that, but I can't. We don't have confirmation of that.
I will say he has an open invitation to be a guest.
That would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be awesome if he did, and you got him talking about logic and stuff. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And I will say, so the subject is going to be, did Jesus fulfill prophecy? And I have eyes in the back of my head going, no, because he didn't exist.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But even if he did exist, no, he still didn't fulfill prophecy. No. And the Christians say, well, he fulfilled some, but he'll fulfill the rest when he comes back, whenever that is. He'll fulfill the rest. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, Randolph. He'll fulfill it when he gets back.
I still think that someday we will discover a very, very old man, probably in his 2000s by now, called Emmanuel, complaining about the fact that everyone got it wrong and he should have been crucified, and he's still here and he's really, really tired. He really wants to go to heaven now, and pleading to his God why he got the wrong guy.
Oh boy, that's hilarious. I was just looking up the Authorized King James translation. This is what it says. This is funny. In 1604, England's King James authorized a new King James I authorized a new translation of the Bible aimed at settling some thorny religious differences in his kingdom and solidifying his own power. But in seeking to prove his own supremacy, King James ended up democratizing the Bible instead.
Yes. And he also wrote a couple of verses. He also wrote a couple of verses himself, and later went on and stood in front of Parliament defending his bisexuality, because if it was good enough for Jesus, it should be good enough for the King of Great Britain.
Yeah, there were some rumors about what he was going on in his bedchamber.
He was hanging out with all the guys. He had found a girlfriend.
Just
is
saying
flat.
that one of his male companions, let's put it at this, had a bedroom next to the king, and it had a door in between both bedrooms.
well,
Do you
Well,
think
there you go.
authorized Queen Jane's Bible is going to trigger more people?
Queen Jane would be a good one, yeah.
But authorized. You think that's going to
Authorized.
trigger the people?
authorized, yes.
Authorized
I would
Queen-
definitely
This is the one I got to go
authorized.
with.
Authorized Queen Jane, and then we can have depictions of Queen Jane.
Oh, yeah.
In a tiny leather bikini, taken from the Tarzan movies, obviously.
Bikini.
I will not discourage me making.
I want to see Moses in a teeny tiny bikini now.
Well, I'm going to have
Yeah.
to come
You
up
never
with
know.
a real name. So we
I
could-
put it in a chat earlier. I still think Moses was a basket case, and I think you just proved that by reading out this chapter.
I wonder
Yeah, it
what
was
female name
a
could
little
replace
crazy.
Moses.
What was that?
I wonder what female name could replace Moses.
Um,
That's a
it's a
tough one.
hard one.
I would say mozzarella, but that is cheese.
Yeah, that's a cheesy one.
Oh, excuse me, that's beautiful.
Melody.
And that so and mozzarella would also be hinting towards Barbarella, and you can take from that whatever you want.
See, if the name was somehow very directly related to water somehow, then it could veer off from sounding the same as Moses almost. But I'd like to get something that does sound the same and start with the same letter and stuff like that. That's going to be a challenge.
That is
you could
labor of love.
You could go with Monisha.
That's pretty good, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
We got it. Worked it out.
I could just make
Monisha.
it like they did. Mosisha.
Yeah,
Mosisha.
We got Marcia or Marcy. Marcy.
Oh, Marcy.
I'm not sure. It's not
Marcy's
bad.
good. Yeah.
And Marsha.
Marcia.
Moses, Marcy. These
And
are some
okay.
good ideas.
So, guys, we are going to wrap up our
Yes.
Skeptic Bible study, Moses, Creepy Crawlies, and the River of Blood. But, Randolph, what do you think about this whole Moses shtick? I mean, does this seem like a moral story to you?
No, I didn't hear everything because I tuned in late, but I don't get the impression that really anything in the Bible is moral.
Yeah,
But what do you base that on, Randolph? What is your moral? You have nothing to base your morality on.
That is partly true, and I'm quite comfortable admitting that.
So, James,
Yeah,
James,
don't let his head explode. We need him for future episodes.
Ah!
Somebody help James.
it's funny you should say that, James, because earlier today I was on a live stream with Jesus is Lord. I saw Jefferson Spatchcock go on there, and I saw another favorite apologist of mine coming on there, and at some point they did ask and question my morality, to which I said, I'm in a hangout right now with a guy who recently did a debate with a woman not wearing pants. I'm also in the same hangout with the guy who hosted said debate. And you want to question my morality while you've got
Peter.
a guy without pants
Peter,
coming on screen, showing off his crotch.
Peter,
I don't think you're in a position to question my morality.
Peter. If
Pumpkin
you're
eater.
hanging out with these people, maybe it is time to start questioning your own morality.
I deliberately went in there, and Randolph, I don't know
Therein lies the problem.
I don't know if you saw this, but while I was in there, I was making a video, and they kicked me before the video had rendered. It was this one.
I saw this a little earlier. So,
Yeah.
It's a classic.
I'll-
You can watch it over and over again.
Now,
It's
so
all-
in answer to that question James asked earlier, though, part of it, the answer that I normally give to is that I make the determinations on my own, but I try to make use of what I consider to be very useful tools, like the Veil of Ignorance from what's that author's name now? I had it at the tip of my tongue here. Veil of Ignorance is used for lawmakers. It's by who's this? I can't even find the name on here anywhere. But
Stuart Mill, maybe?
no.
Daniel Kent. No, that's history.
Yeah. Oh, gee, why is this name escaping me? Because I'm half asleep. That's why. John Rawls.
John Rawls. Oh, yeah.
Contemporary philosopher. Now, he's different than from most philosophers. Most philosophers will venture out into a lot of different areas, but John Rawls was kind of laser focused on the theory of justice and sharing of wealth and things. He wasn't really spread out in a lot of different things, and his writing is a bit repetitive and redundant, but the ideas in there are fantastic. And like the Veil of Ignorance, for example, is for a lawmaker, the idea is that they consider all the different possible positions they could take in society and trying to ensure that the law is fair to everybody. And one of the kind of mental exercises they put into this is saying, okay, you're the lawmaker. Imagine that it will be a matter of random selection that you, after your law is put into place, you will be thrown into society with a randomly selected role, randomly selected sex, randomly selected everything, including illnesses, all these other things. Consider all these different possibilities and try to make sure that your law, from that perspective, is going to be as fair as possible. And so, to me, this seems like actually a really good approach. Now, of course, it requires lawmakers actually make a genuine effort and do this, but I've found that this kind of thinking is useful in making moral determinations as well. So it's a very useful concept, almost like an ideology, and a useful approach to it. So now then they turn around and they'll ask, so how do you know it's correct? I said, I don't know. I'm doing the best that I can, and but I do know that it's better than just arbitrarily punishing people for all eternity with infinite punishment for a finite crime and stuff like that.
That's your opinion, though. It's maybe God has a different opinion. He thinks it's fine.
I disagree with that male deity. Yeah, indeed I do.
But I mean, Amy, like, if you were an atheist, I mean, you would just go around and you would just do all kind of crazy things because there's no God to tell you that it's bad.
What are you accusing my friend Amy of here? Huh? What?
No, I mean, like, just we heard this exposition from Dr. Hovind last time that as soon as they took God out of the schools, then we had the drug use, the pregnancies, the school shootings, and all these bad things happened because you're telling the kids that they're apes, they're monkeys, they're animals, so they behave like animals.
So you're telling me I'm disagreeing with God, but Kent Hovind is disagreeing with all of humanity. That's pretty rich.
Well, put
James
God on one side and humanity on the other hand. Who wins on that one? Which one of them has magic? The other one doesn't.
Matt Dillahunty does magic.
James, keep in mind, and I have this on good authority. And when I say authority, I mean authority in the broadest sense of the word. That Randolph has no clue whatsoever about philosophy, because I've read several threads on Twitter where people claim that he has no clue. He's rubbed some philosopher, and again I'll take that in the broadest sense of the word, philosopher. He rubbed the guy a little bit the wrong way, and he's still butthurt about that, and so. He'll take up every chance to tell people that Randolph has no clue when it comes to philosophy. So I
will say that I am not an expert when it comes to philosophy because I still have plenty to learn. But I'm willing to consider new ideas, and if somebody is correcting me, I'm going to consider it seriously because I think it's good to. Be open about things and try to learn. You know,
I'll go out on a limb. I trust any comment on philosophy coming from you a little bit more than said critic.
Well, the way I look at philosophy,
that might be me.
The way I look at philosophy, one of the fundamental things that I think is important in philosophy is, and again, I'm not an expert, and I'm talking with my own perspective as a layperson, but I think that dissent in philosophical thought is so important because Without it, it just becomes doctrinal
Well,
I-
or
and
my
dogmatic.
thing on philosophy, then we'll go to Peter, is you look at what the philosophers are talking about, debating today. You look at the things they're talking about and debating 2,000, 3,000 years ago. It's the same thing. It's just the same ideas getting batted around. You never go anywhere because there's nowhere to go. It's all just conjecture.
and I
Well,
would
you
just.
see-
Oh yeah. Yep. No, Randolph.
Oh, yeah, and so when somebody comes along and says this is the standard in philosophy, this is the way it always is, and et cetera, et cetera, I feel like they're kind of grabbing onto tradition and not open to things changing, and I consider that to be kind of a red flag, because I wonder how progressive that line of thinking could really be.
And I think that philosophy is good for hypothesis making. It's good for generating ideas and trying to put things into coherent syllogisms. It's just that you then have to take it into the real world and create a theory. You then have to test it and do experiments. It has to leave philosophy at a certain point and become empirical for it to be useful, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think philosophy intermixed with comedy is very important. I think comedy is probably one of the most important communication styles in the world. Comedians have very often a more effective way of educating people and getting ideas across in ways that are so memorable.
Right.
That serious classes aren't as effective of that because the comedy isn't mixed in.
I think there are a lot of people who remember more about the Bible just from these broadcasts because it's funny than they would if they had sat through a boring Sunday school class singing about "We love Jesus, Jesus is so great, I love Jesus."
Here with you. Oh wow!
I think the world owes a lot to comedy, and so one of the people that I really admired was Richard Pryor, and I think
just thinking about him, he was great. Yeah,
Richard was amazing.
On a lot of things, he was groundbreaking in addressing subjects that no one wanted to talk about.
Including racism.
Racism. Whether it was his cocaine addiction, he did a whole skit about his him being completely off the rocks on cocaine.
Off the rocks on rocks.
Off the rocks on boom. So. No, but with a lot of things wouldn't have been changed if it wouldn't have been for comedy addressing those things. I'm 100%. Keep in mind, I grew up with Archie Bunker.
I did too, sort of.
And if a lot of people will now look back and say that show wasn't politically correct. That show.
At the time, people were saying that it wasn't suitable. It was horrible. Yeah.
No, but
and they still watched it anyway.
For different reason, because they still brought up subjects. They brought up the racism thing, and they had within the show counter racism. Archie's daughter, his meatball son-in-law.
Meatball, what a name!
Yeah,
I didn't watch it, but it's supposedly. Because it's missed my generation, but it's supposedly the whole point was that he's a racist, but he's also a dum-dum. So the racist is a dum-dum. So that's the point.
Yes.
Which is
maybe
not a bad association.
You can help him. Like maybe because he just doesn't know, or he doesn't know any better. But maybe we can bring him along to reason.
Oh, but his name was Meathead, not Meatball. That character in that show. Yeah.
I remember.
Oh yeah.
Jarhead?
Meathead. You're thinking Flying Spaghetti Monster. Now, if his name was Meatball, we could make all kinds of Flying Spaghetti Monster travel back in time to the Archie Bunker show and jokes. There's a Flying Spaghetti Monster right there.
And he just went out and touched his noodly appendages.
That too.
Now, I mean, he doesn't send anybody to hell, so, I mean.
When it comes to the Flying Spaghetti Monster, the touching works both ways.
Oh, baby. Yeah, it doesn't.
Amy, you're welcome to use any of the lines that I've put out here. I'm if you think they'll entertain an audience, feel free.
Oh, she will.
Like,
She will.
all the seats. Oh, exactly. It goes right into you, sir, Randolph. Right. And okay, so Peter, Skeptic Bible Study. We're about halfway through this whole Moses shtick. Everyone's getting blood and flies and frogs.
Rivers of blood.
The thing that has me wondering the most is because you read the whole thing where they throw their rod and it turns into a snake, and years later you've got kids being educated on a Bible camp that they can't watch Harry Potter because wizards are of the devil, and yet here you have wizards in a contest for God, and God brings along his own wizard who out-wizards all of the other wizards because his rod is roddier and his snake is snakier. It just doesn't fit with how people interpret the Bible. The Bible is all about spells and blessings. It's all about wizardry.
But they're for God. That Moses and Aaron Ra, they're for God. So when people watch Harry Potter,
I hope you will never encounter Aaron in public. He's a very big guy, and if you just stated that Aaron Ra is for God, you might have a problem.
Aaron Ra is for God. When you watch Harry Potter, they're doing their magic on behalf of the devil. So therefore, that's evil. But Moses and Aaron Ra in the Bible, that was good magic.
Okay, but if that's how you equate it, then Voldemort is God. Are you actually sure about that? Although now that you mention it,
Dumbledore should have been.
There are a lot of similarities. There are a lot of similarities between Voldemort and God.
You say the Bible is a book of wizardry. I'm thinking the Necronomicon would probably be a better written book for that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you couldn't have Dumbledore as God, by the way, because I don't know if everyone knows this, but
he's too nice.
No, he's gay.
He was gay, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Dumbledore was gay.
Because the Bible makes it wrong. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell Christians you can't go along and tell Christians that God is gay. That's probably going to get you ostracized.
You would never find like a Christian pastor preaching anti-gay sermons and then going out and finding out that he's been on Grindr or that he's been having some trysts with some gay prostitutes.
No,
that would never happen.
People like Chet Haggard are completely fictional. I just want to say.
You say God can't be gay, but then if that's the case, that kind of ruins the case for omnipresence then, though, doesn't it?
Well, you trying to say God has to be inside the room when two gay people are being gay?
Lots of Christians say they've got God inside of them. Not all of them are women who are saying that.
Amy, do you have God inside of you?
Every other night.
Okay.
She alternates nights.
Yeah, I alternates.
Well, praise God. Praise Jesus.
And okay, so
alternating nights.
Now the question is, does God use the strap on or do I? That's the real question. Or does God wear a rubber?
I'd rather not know.
Does God wear? What people
do in the
pull out, Amy?
Of their own.
Excuse me, all of you. God will not be mocked. Excuse me, all these jokes. Excuse me, God.
I don't consider this mockery.
Okay, well then continue.
Yeah. Does God pull out though before he does his business?
How can he if he's omnipresent?
There you go. See.
So he's like quantum. He's in and he's out.
Okay, let me bring the topic back to the apologist who has been in the news a lot lately. He's a member of the Presbyterian Church, and I just want to be entirely silent, and just show this.
I've got this in my meme collection.
Woohoo! The Peter and me.
I'm famous.
Where's Will?
I'm famous.
Just stick the word Griffin in there.
Peter in me, baby.
Well, praise God. Thank
And
you
I'll tell you
for that, Peter.
I'll tell you something spooky. My favorite question to ask theists who are like, it's a man and a woman, it has a chromosome and a penis. I'm like, oh, okay. So what gender is your God again? And they're like, Christian.exe has stopped working. Okay. That's normally how that goes.
That computer joke, that was really well timed. That was good.
St. Peter's Church. Praise
And,
God.
Okay, Peter, are we
St.
moving
Peter's
on?
So sorry.
No.
Say again.
No, bring on the jokes. Is any last thoughts on just all this nonsense that you
Any more
always send?
Lord praising? If you just want to praise God for a little bit, that's okay too.
I'm gonna do something completely different. So
I do think nonsense summarizes it
so
well.
we might get to close to the King James, in that I will just leave it to James and Amy. If you want to know more about the Bible, just watch this show. It's not only fun to watch, you'll also learn about the Bible in, I think, the most pleasurable way you could imagine. I'm a great fan of this show, and I'm always honored that I get a tiny spot on it. You do a great job, and I know a lot of atheists don't bother reading the Bible, and it is a tough book to get through. The way you guys do it at least makes that fun, and even though you sometimes get the names a little bit wrong, people can still read,
a little bit.
Yeah, read on the screen if they really want to catch the entire thing. I think it just adds to what we've got in our community. This, as far as I know, there isn't a show that could be compared with this one, where you actually read the Bible, still have a lot of fun, and have the opportunity for people to jump in at the end and have a little say themselves. So keep doing the good work.
Well, thank you so very
Thank you,
much.
Peter. We love it. We've been having a good time, and we're glad, guys like you and Randolph and the people in chat, the other people who come in, it wouldn't be the same if it was just us.
No, I think this channel, just in general, has become one of my favorites. Ever since I figured out that Amy had her own channel and that you, James, are on here all the time. I think the two of you do a great job. You make a good team. And
Thank you.
I first met Amy on Modern Day Debate. We teamed up for a debate with Praise I Am That I Am and another fellow named Matt, I believe. And it was on Does the Bible Condone Slavery? Amy and I are on the affirmative, yes. And the other two, of course, are saying, no, it doesn't. And then a Q&A question came up. Would they be willing to be our slaves? And Matt said no, because we couldn't follow it. And Praise said yes, and that he'd even taken all to the ear for us. Both of their answers, of course, defeat their position, which was amazing, I thought. We should have just started with Q&A. It would have saved a lot of time. But Amy was very well prepared, and that's when I thought, this is great.
See,
and we've been kind of hanging out and stuff ever since. It's been fantastic, really.
And this is why, and this is also why Amy's one of my favorite debaters on MDD, because she always comes prepared, always
she does, yeah.
Comes with in a good spirit. If we can just keep it to the Christians,
always comes,
and only the alcoholic spirits, I'm sure.
No, and she always finds a way that if it is slowly turning into a dumpster fire, to deflate the situation and get it back to where people can talk to each other. That is a gift. That is a talent that I don't think that I've got that. But
Don't worry, most people don't.
no.
She's a very people gravitate towards Amy. She's very people are drawn in, and she has a way of welcoming people into her. Like, come to me,
I'll be honest. If you're going to go on a debate, on modern day debate, and you hear that you're going to be teamed up with Amy, I'd say more than half of your work is done, because you know that Amy will prepare to the max, and if you let Amy go first, you need a small introduction, because Amy will probably have covered everything that needs to be covered for that particular debate.
No, we had a lot of fun in our debate with Amy. I love that debate. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
With two of the biggest names in the Christian debate community. Well, one of them is still around, John Maddox. The other one, he's kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus lately. But yeah.
John Maddox.
John Maddox.
MDD Modern Day Debate tried to get me debating with somebody. They didn't show up, and then he tried to bring John Maddox in. John Maddox, I said, okay, let's do I suggested a subject of atheism is normal, because I thought John Maddox, he's always deriding atheists. He'd probably love to be against it. It would be great. Nope. He suggested a completely different topic. Yeah. He suggested plausibility versus incredulity. And so James is like, if you're like me, you're probably as confused as I am about this. And I said, yeah, that's not a debate topic. That's a conversation topic. Does Maddox understand that you're hosting debates? Was my response to James.
Yeah. What annoys me about that is just, and maybe he's not doing it personally, just when you make it that highly technical that half the audience is like, oh, they're arguing about. Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, a topic of plausibility versus incredulity doesn't make sense for debate, because everybody who goes into debates pretty much thinks their own position is plausible and the other side's is incredulous. So who's going to take the incredulity side? Not going to be either of us. So like, it just doesn't make sense.
He's trying to get around the argument from incredulity, which is all he has. That I don't think secular science will ever be able to solve these problems, these gaps that I've hidden the gaps in, and science will never be able to solve those problems. So therefore, God is plausible.
I was looking forward to debating with him on atheism being normal, because I think he would have put up a lot of arguments, and it probably would have entertained the audience a lot, and it would have been an interesting back and forth, because it's an area that I push very strongly in. But I ended up debating with a Calvinist instead, who turned out to be a real nice guy to chat with. I don't consider that either of us won that debate, and he agrees with me, so that worked out well.
There you go.
It just annoys me that the apologists just seem to pick deistic arguments like incredulity.
It's what they know.
Because you don't want to defend, I hate to say the zombie, but the guy, let's say the guy who came back from the dead. Let's just say that.
Even when we were debate prepping, we were like, how are we going to get them to force them to defend Christianity as opposed to deism or vague notions of a God, which is really what they retreat to, as opposed to defending Christianity.
Yeah, so Maddox, for some reason, and I think I know, because I cornered him twice on his own channel, after which he left, and we ended up, another atheist, I forgot who it was, another atheist and I ended up being the last two people in that stream that John Maddox had left up and running. And so we talked about having the chance to make this into an atheist show on John Maddox's channel, and then said, well, I think our morality goes against that, so we signed off and left the channel there. And it ran for, I think, another hour and a half after all of us left.
That's just
but-
painful
but-
to me.
but
That
he-
whole
he-
like leaving the stream on.
You should have
Yeah.
left
Very
it.
painful.
You should have left it running the Benny Hill theme music.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
I could have done that, but so I don't want to disrespect people when I come on their channel. So John Maddox after that has been a complete dick whenever he and I were on the same stream.
After you were
And
respectful.
his online name is Logical, Plausible, Probable, which
Yeah,
is
don't mix up
and-
those. Don't mix the order up of those last two
No.
words. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Don't do that.
so everyone
There's
everyone
another
I think
account out
has
there.
everyone has by now switched
I'm not gonna say
to
whose account it is.
Sorry, how does he react when people mix up the order of the last two words?
No, I meant to just say that there's another alternate account. I'm not going to say whose it is who goes around with the two
I got to look this up.
well
words
so
alternated, and then the Christians think that that's John. Logical, probable, plausible, not logical, plausible,
Yeah.
probable. Yeah, very important
Well,
distinction.
a lot of people think that name is too long anyway, so they started calling him LPP, and I recently
OPP.
shared with people on a channel that I thought that was an acronym for Lil Peepee. And
Yes.
now a lot of people I've noticed are starting to call him Lil Peepee instead
Lil
of
Peepee.
LPP, which I think is incredibly funny.
Should
But
ask Gavin what he thinks of that.
yeah,
That's true.
Maybe they can have
battle
like
it
a
out.
they can lay out the rods like on Moses with the magicians.
yeah, I think it could be why they get along so well.
Maybe.
They
Well, I mean-
let's say they might be on the
Bonding
same
moment.
team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
wavelength.
but Baddox, you got to respect Baddox. I mean, I don't know. I've heard he's an Uber driver, but so he might have a ride, and then he comes back and debunks an entire field of science, just hand waves away decades of research because the Bible says so, and then he goes on another ride. Hey, he's a busy guy. Theology.
Can I point out that what Amy just said had me laugh out loud inside because since Gavin is on screen trying to wave it about and Amy just said same wavelength.
Woohoo!
That just made me chuckle.
That's
You
some
do the hokey
quantum
pokey
humor
and you
right
turn
there.
yourself about.
That's some quantum level humor right there.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, quantum particles are very small, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, excuse me, Randolph. They're only small because it's cold outside, okay?
Yeah.
These jokes are all
I mean,
Gavin's expense. It's
Yes, we are roasting Gavin. Poor Gavin. He should come on here, and we would be very
Hey.
nice to him.
He can.
What was it again?
honestly,
$200,000 or
Woohoo!
Chair, I can laugh out loud on the inside. Trust me. I need to at times doing a show. Sometimes you need to do that on the
OPP.
inside
What
in
is
order not to insult people.
Oh.
I've got a weird sense of humor. So and I see things when people say things, and
Aunt Jer is right.
sometimes
I love Ancher. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
one of our super fans.
I always quote my old history teacher. One of the few that I still remember, and one of the few things that I still remember, word for word, learning in school, had nothing to do with history, had nothing to do with anything. But he used to say, "A dirty mind is a joy forever," and that's been my life's motto ever since. Never.
I like that motto.
Never let me down.
And the Bible is not disappointing us either.
And speaking of that, James, so we are Skeptic Bible Study, Moses, Creepy Crawlies, and the River of Blood. I like it because it does sound like a Harry Potter title.
Randolph, the name's already been changed. It's something else now. It used to be there, so there you go.
And so what do you think, James? We're moving through. We just got the first few plagues.
Yeah, I mean, we got the frogs, we got the lice, we got some blood, we got some, what was the other one?
Many more to come.
Yeah, many more flies. Yeah, we got flies.
Fun.
So Yeah, I think it's only going to be smooth sailing from here. I know I always say that, and every time it seems to disappoint me. And, so I'm just thinking Pharaoh's going to just let the people go. They'll go on their own way. They'll go out into the wilderness for 3 days, specifically 3 days, and then make a sacrifice to God. Then everything will be good after that. I don't see what could go wrong. But, yeah, remains to be seen. So come back tomorrow for the Matt Dillahunty after show. That should be an interesting debate. Any debate with Matt Dillahunty is always a good debate. And then
what time is that?
Yes,
I believe it's an 8 p.m. debate. So I believe it will probably be 11:30 or so.
This will probably be close to our midnight ranting.
Normal, yeah.
You have to put in the time zone, because you're going to freak me out if you're not putting in the time zone. Because
Eastern, we're both in Eastern time.
Oh, you're both Eastern. Okay.
What time are you in, Randolph?
Time zone up.
Are you Eastern time as well, or are you Saskatchewan time?
Pacific time here.
Randolph is somewhere on the west coast, but I won't be Pacific about it.
British Columbia. It's public knowledge.
Amy got it. Amy got it.
I'm gonna start putting EST in the Twitter and the Discord and all that fun stuff. And so I hope you all had an awesome time on this episode of Skeptic Bible Study, Moses, Creepy Crawlies, and the River of Blood, where the 10 plagues began to befall a city. Moses had a pep talk with the deity, and he gave us the best magic show this side of Vegas. Remember, folks, what happens in Egypt stays in Egypt. I want to thank James W., Peter, Randolph Richardson, Titan Uranus, Spooky Bed Hair, Doubting Thomas, Simos Funk, Brainbug, Aunt Jer, Jamie Russell, and Dave Gar. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that all button icon so you can be part of our live streams. If you'd like to help make more fun content, feel free to check out our Patreon at patreon.com.
The Baker, rest in peace.
If you'd like to make more fun content, feel free to check us out at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I'm Amy Newman, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z.
Adventure. Bye. Where are the Dukes? Put up your Dukes.
Bye.
Whack, whack.